Yeah, save it. Save it. You can't talk NBA without Q.
Well, I know you want to talk about
I can say the Dak for
So
Damn,
Dak
that is
before
that
NBA.
is that is the lead though. Nah, there was we could talk about Le'Veon. Le'Veon get released. I think. Yeah,
I didn't. So what? Le'Veon got released.
yeah. There was a report that I put in the thread, the chat, that the Jets were trying to trade him. But I thought that was just like another report. You know how they've been they've been talking about off and on, but yeah, they released him just now.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I thought you. That's why you. I thought you said, man, I don't want to give a fuck about Le'Veon.
Brady just gave up 3 runs in the bottom of 7.
I say nobody.
Get out of here. Somebody gonna pick him up, bro.
Who needs a bat?
Seattle.
Need is a strong word.
It'd be a nice cherry on top. Because he catches the ball too.
Yeah, but they don't. Seattle's offense
There we go.
percolating.
You right. You don't want to. You don't want to.
Pull up the chat.
But it is a nice.
It's a thought. It's a thought. That's what I'm saying. Like
Um,
it's hard to think about who really is.
Who the Cardinals got? Kenyon.
Kenyon Drake. I mean,
Kenyon Drake and Edmonds. I think they
Yeah,
still
Le'Veon
face
better than
Edmonds.
both of them.
Man, I
The
don't want him to
Patriots
go to
use
Cardinals.
a bat.
I got Edmonds on my fantasy. Need him to take touch.
You're right, bro. There's not many teams that need a back like that.
Because
Chicago.
you know
It'd
what?
be
Chicago
nice.
Chicago would be interesting.
Chicago would be nice.
Chicago would be interesting.
It'll allow them.
No, they don't need to go to Chicago.
Who? Le'Veon?
Yeah, they got Montgomery. Did he help you win your matchup?
Nah,
Oh, well,
George Kittle. I put it all on the white boy. He ain't come through for me.
hey, that's what they do.
He balled out last week, the week before though, when he played Philly. He had like 30
Well,
points.
shit. Jimmy G, bro. They had to sit his ass down.
That's crazy. We gonna all right. Those are the two.
All right, we're going to get started. This is the place where sports opinions collide. That in sports, I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inch. Joining me on the show, we got Shelton J.
What's happening, man? How y'all doing?
They do.
Doing fine, brother. Nikki Duce,
What's going on? What's going on?
FIFO 24/7.
It's your boy.
And joining us, Q will be joining us, I believe, shortly. And Manny, the resident Laker fan, here will maybe joining us as well. Said he was working out, pumping iron.
And he gotta get out that wine and champagne he was drinking the other night. You seen that goofy ass picture? Yeah. I'm like, bro, you gonna take it. Boy, you give a Laker fan one good day.
That's all, tweeting about that. We here, baby. We here, baby. Number 17, baby.
I'm like, bro, if you don't go to bed,
I'm like, you a LeBron hater, man.
that's why he had a Magic Johnson jersey. I was like, you can't even give him this day. Oh man.
Oh man, he's stationed on LeBron. And now the nigga done brought him a championship. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna get into all that. Beezy will probably be here too, man. You never know with him. But they recording Dead End Gaming right now, so they get a little long-winded over there. So but yeah, so we know you guys are here to hear our reactions to the talking points that came from the title. I mean, from the championship that concluded Sunday. We're gonna try to hold some of that back as much as possible until some of our esteemed guests show up, mainly Q. But if they continue to be on CP time, we just gonna go with it. But before we get into that, man, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/deadendsports. We appreciate it, man. I think we crossed over 10,000.
Hey,
Sure
10K.
did.
Subs, man. That's
Hey,
big. So
we sure did.
yeah. So much love. And yeah, much love to you guys for that. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into the show.
Well, since we waiting on NBA, we'll start with NFL. First and foremost, COVID cases are still happening in NFL, changing the whole landscape pretty much. We're having Tuesday night games. As we're recording this, the game is probably on right now as far as between the Buffalo Bills and I believe the Tennessee Titans. But yeah, COVID's changing up the whole NFL schedule. I don't know how this changes up as far as fair competition in that conversation. Or maybe if COVID will force the NFL to shut down if certain players get COVID, like a Patty Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll see. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was the Thursday night game. As far as the Bucks versus the Chicago Bears, I think I was the only one who actually picked the Bears to win that game.
Who I picked?
You were.
Okay.
You were.
Yeah, hey, Dylan, my guy Dylan, call him die. Hey, he got the facts.
He's snitching, bro.
He got the facts. But yeah, were people overreacting to that Thursday night game as far as Tom Brady's performance? Because we were all here.
Oh.
As far as me, FIFO, and Ken, we watched the game. I think we were just recording one of the Patreon Dead End audio podcasts and stuff like that for that album review. So we watched the Thursday night game, and I think we got up to the third or fourth quarter where we were seeing the final drive or the final happenings of that game. And I told FIFA, I looked him dead in his eyes. I was like, bro, I don't see Tom Brady winning this game.
Yeah, and I definitely thought that they would have an opportunity.
Yeah, Q's joining us now for those of you that see. But you know what? It was interesting, man. And Brady fucked up. We're just gonna call it what it is. It happens, shit happens. We know it happens. We've seen it happen to, the best, right?
And it was a human thing because we was watching it, we thought it was third down.
I did. But
I didn't. I knew what down it was.
I can think it's third down.
Right.
Brady can't think it's third down. And he had that little dumbass look on his face, like he thought that they were gonna make it fourth down because it was Brady.
Yeah.
Hold on, the fourth inning. Nah, bro. But yeah, so would that have made a difference in the game? I'm sure he would have went for the first down instead of the deeper pass because he thought he had a down to play with, but nevertheless he didn't. I think you and I discussed, Nick, afterwards that a lot of people weren't really holding his feet to the fire for making that critical error. We're talking about a game-winning drive from a veteran quarterback that has won multiple Super Bowl rings.
He was like 45 plus game-winning drives.
Yeah, you don't do that. You don't do that. But he did. It is what it is. They better hope it don't cost them.
Well, let me ask, like, is the expectation to be perfect? Like, you can't have a moment?
Let me say,
especially not, this is not like a major situation, right? Like it's a regular season game on a team in a year that there is no OTAs, none of that. Like you're still kind of learning on the fly, on the job. Like he's Tom Brady, and he's human.
I feel like we're saying that just because he won a Super Bowl with another.
No. How many?
He won
How many?
I'm just saying.
No, you said a Super Bowl. You put in a lot of disrespect.
I'm saying
Thomas Brady's name right now.
I'm saying the last time we saw him win a Super Bowl was for another franchise. So what he does with the Bucks, I'm not thinking about the Patriots' success.
Travels with you.
And
that's my resume, dog. My resume go everywhere I go.
Well, apparently not wins don't either. Because the wins are staying up in New England. And this is why I gotta say, man, fuck Brady. Because you know why? Because this motherfucker was cussing out the whole offensive line because they somewhat justifiably so because they caused a lot of penalties. However, this motherfucker cussed out the whole offensive line talking about they ain't doing their job. How the fuck are we supposed to win games when you ain't doing your job? Well, let me ask you, Mr. Brady, how the fuck are they going to win games when you don't know what down it is? As a quarterback, he don't know what down it is. As a Super Bowl, you talked about all those Super Bowl titles, right? How many of them is it, FIFO? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 5? Like 6? 6 titles? And you don't know what the fuck the down is? Yeah, and then you over there looking like a goofy ass motherfucker throwing up 4, like, bro, man, get the fuck out of here, bro. You ain't winning shit. All right. Let me calm down.
Look, here's what I'll say. What was your question, people? Something about
He was
this.
excusing his ass.
Does
That's
it
what he was
matter?
asking.
Should
For.
we not expect
Well,
him
I'm
to be
just saying, like,
perfect or whatever?
is the expectation perfection?
Yes, with Tom Brady, he came from a system for perfection.
Yes, it is. We expect perfection from, I don't know, LeBron and other athletes.
I don't expect perfection.
I'm just saying there's a level of expectation placed on certain athletes when you've done it and proven you can do it multiple times. So there is a level of expectation that comes with that. Although I'm of the mindset that shit happens as well. The thing about it is that we know now, after who won this weekend? Who won this weekend?
Who won last night?
Who won this weekend, Shelton? What's your team?
Who, Carolina?
Man, he ain't paying attention.
Yeah, he over here. what you sipping on?
We know in that division, it's a three-way tie for first right now.
Yeah, I believe. No. That's with the AFC North. I think within the NFC South, it's just between the Saints and the Bucks.
Saints and the Bucks. Okay.
Oh no, sir. Let's get that right, Nick. It's a three-way tie.
Or now you want to participate? So Carolina's up there too?
Yes. All three of those teams
are
3-2.
He tried to help you out.
I mean, I lobbed it right to him, man. I
said Carolina.
I threw my bad. You know, you didn't. You tried. You tried to catch that lob like Kuzma.
I said Carolina. I thought you heard me.
But yeah, it's a three-way tie. So those type of losses, as we see in the NFL, can come back to hurt you down the stretch. So that's why we may be looking back at this game as the game that may have kept them out of the playoffs or kept them from winning the division.
And to whom much is given, much is expected. We expect a lot from Tom Brady because of the name, but that wasn't the play that lost the game. They lost the game early on with all those penalties and offensive mistakes, and he had a right to go off early because they made some stupid bonehead plays. It was like that one series was just trash. There was a penalty, at least one penalty on every play. So those are drive killers, and when you got all the momentum like they had in that game, there's no way they should have lost that game. They beat themselves, literally. And yeah, he thought it was he said that he would have went for the first down, but he didn't have nobody open as far as I could see. So what else could you be doing but going for the first down? I didn't see nothing else for him to do.
You know, I'll be petty, man. I'll be like, hey man, I'm going to Wendy's after here. Give me that 4 for 4. I come to work with 4 on my shirt. How many titles LeBron got? So
credit memes. He put LeBron's name on there.
Nah, man.
Chase Claypool.
Again, it's just more about like, bro, like I hear what you're saying, Shelton, but at the end of the day, that drive is what lost him the game. If he executes on that drive, we're gonna talk about the penalties maybe, but we're mostly gonna be talking about Tom Brady once again makes a game-winning drive, proving that he's the greatest quarterback, all that dick sucking shit that they be doing on ESPN.
But here's the thing though, Nick, in the course of any football game, there's a series of between 4 to 8 plays that determine the course of that entire game. And some of those games have they're different on the priority list of what's really messing you up. And yes, that's on the list, but it's not the main reason why they lost. Yeah, it happened at a critical moment, but like Shelton said, man, the penalties killed them. You can't look. They're a team that's still kind of, like I said, learning. No OTAs, no real offseason. Older quarterback, new second-year head coach, first-year GOAT legend status type QB coming in. Like, it's a lot of moving parts, bro. You still got to give him a little bit of time. Mistakes like this, bonehead mistakes, right now, you got to forgive a little bit. This is not Tom Brady with the Patriots. With the Patriots, yeah, we can't forgive it. And we burned them last year. Did we not? Did we not crucify Tom Brady for looking how he looked?
No, I was the only one who did it. Ken maybe. You be soft on niggas with rings, bro. You be soft on niggas with rings. I don't give a fuck.
The more rings you got, the more benefit of the doubt you got. That's what you earn. You earn that. You earned that. You earned the benefit of the doubt.
And he earned that. He earned to hold this L. That's what he's gonna be doing all week. Maybe next week too.
Okay.
Because you talking about this marriage between.
What's up with your guy Joe Burrow?
Oh, now he want to switch
Yeah,
topics.
I sure do.
Now you want to switch topics. You want me to talk about Bruce Arians, how he may not be the right coach for this team, or Tom Brady might not be the right quarterback for that team, because Tom Brady's throwing like Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers out there, where it don't look like he can throw past 20 yards.
Now, I'm not saying
Come on
man
now.
don't look like no Pat Mahomes
You
or,
know-
or
you
Russell
realize-
or Lamar, but the man looked better than Phillip Rivers.
You realize Jameis
Why are you
Winston?
so disrespectful?
I'm just saying, you realize Jameis Winston averages more in this offense last year, averages more yards per attempt than Tom Brady
Talk about it.
with more weapons. Tom Brady has more weapons, does he not? Okay, if you want to give me, oh no, these weapons are hurt. What is Tom Brady known for? Dealing with either less talent or no talent at all?
But let me ask you this, though.
I'm just saying, bro.
Has Tom Brady not regressed some? Of course, the man
Right,
is
that's
old as
fine.
my
What
life.
else we got? What else we got? Hey,
It's old as
Q,
shit.
wait, I want to make sure we got audio from Q. Q, speak. Say something, brother.
Yo.
Okay, cool. I just saw teeth. I ain't know if you was talking to.
I was just silently
Like you about to
laughing at
snitch on
y'all,
somebody. I
man.
can't see it. It's a dark room.
Man, y'all know by now. Y'all know by now.
Yeah.
But I want to give a shout out to the Chicago Bears. Hey, Nicky Foles. Hey, Nicky Foles once again. He make the
Hell
right pass.
no.
He got to do to win the game.
He was trash.
Hey, he got the dub. That's all that matters.
Because Brady.
I want to talk about another QB that probably should be getting some criticism too, if not more criticism. Jimmy G.
It's
Ken's
over.
boy.
That's not my boy.
That's your boy.
That's not my boy, but it's over for Jimmy G.
It's a wrap.
Bro, 77 yards. Now, I could try to say, you know what? He came off the injury, maybe.
Right.
But,
Just give him one more week. Is that not fair?
Yeah, he deserves at least another week. He
Yeah,
deserves.
like-
He
Deserves.
Yeah,
He made
he
it to the Super
does,
Bowl.
man. He made it to the Super
He
Bowl.
made it to the Super Bowl. The 49ers made it to the Super Bowl. He just happened to be there.
No, he was part of the reason because
Right.
there was a couple of shootouts in last season that if Jimmy G did not show the hell up, they would have lost those games and they may not have had that number one seed.
Let me ask you a question. During that Vikings game in the playoffs, when he threw that interception, what did they do for the rest of that game? What did they do for the rest of the game? I'm just asking the question. They ran the fucking ball, and it got them goddamn to the Super Bowl. Don't tell me Jimmy G is the reason why they
Well,
got
I didn't
here.
say he's
let
the
me ask you
reason.
this,
He's
Nick. Do
part
you
of
think
the solution.
if they had to throw the ball, I mean, I think they just kept running because they couldn't stop it. If you were playing Madden, you would probably do the same thing.
If I throw a pick, you're damn skippy. I'm running the damn ball.
But nah, just it's just not looking good for him. He hasn't been great this season to start. But I mean, bro, when you got C.J. Beathard and whoever that other motherfucker is, Sutfield, are you any better?
Nick Mullins.
He had to bench one of them motherfuckers in the game the week before. So I think they may have rushed Jimmy back a little too soon.
I think they rushed when they paid Jimmy. That's the rush. Why the fuck is we paying this nigga?
Because
I
you
mean,
got to.
Yeah, he got paid on. Well, we're not gonna relitigate that because I think what they paid him now, I think compared to where the salaries are now, is what
No, I'm just saying like they got to be looking for a QB in this upcoming
yeah,
draft.
they are.
Yeah, they're back in the QB market. I think they have to poke and prod and lift some rocks and see somebody's willing to move some things. But it is what it is, man. Like the NFL is cyclical, and quarterbacks, unless you're the top 10, top 11, you could be replaced. You know what I'm saying? That's just the nature of football. Jimmy G had his run. He's not a great quarterback, but you could win with him. He's a good quarterback. For the most part, when he's healthy, he plays the game where he's not the reason why you lose it. He may not be the reason why you win it, but if you have a stout team, you have a run game or some weapons, you got a defense, you can do some things with Jimmy G.
So you basically have everything else.
But
And then he
that,
can
but,
drop
but
it.
it
Work
all,
for Trent Dilfer.
exactly. So look, Nick, it comes back down to how you build the team and the talent that's available to you. Sometimes you may not have a franchise quarterback that you can put peanuts around and he just elevates everybody like Russell Wilson. Everybody not that. Some people, they can play the game, but they need guys around them.
There may be something else going on in San Francisco that we don't know about. Maybe the offense is too complex for Jimmy to pick up.
You think so?
I don't know, but it's possible that there's just a disconnect there.
It is
between-
pedestrian because it's mostly.
That's what I'm saying. Zone runs.
Oh, well.
No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about the throwing. Like you telling me if he had a QB like Patty Mahomes, or let's not go that high. if he had a QB like shit.
Your boy,
Ooh.
the one that got hurt.
Oh, I would even say like a Joe Burrow. You think the offense will be that
Like
much?
who?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow is an elite rookie QB, like an elite rookie QB.
It would still be the
Y'all
same.
better stop this Joe Burrow talk. I don't know what y'all keep this Joe Burrow talk up. If y'all don't stop, Justin Herbert
the
is
guy.
the only elite
Hold on.
rookie QB.
Sheldon,
Joe Burrow's the guy.
I know you ain't talking Teddy Bridge to another quarterback water. You,
Teddy
you
Bridgewater.
can't show me talking about no quarterbacks to me.
Did you watch Teddy Bridgewater this weekend? And he has a winning record, sir.
I did. Is he gonna be your franchise QB next year?
He will be there next year, I hope. That guy, we're in first place.
All right, so
Yeah,
calm
first
down.
place.
That's all I gotta ask.
300
Is he gonna last the year?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He Joe Burrow wouldn't hold Teddy Bridgewater's jockstrap. Come on. Joe Burrow is not Justin Herbert. Let's talk about it too. Which would you prefer? Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert?
Justin Herbert.
Oh, Justin Herbert's that dude. Justin
It's
Herbert
not
can
a
play, bro.
question. He flashes. That dude plays the game the way it should be played.
Who has a better team around him, though?
Neither
Herbert.
one.
He said
Justin
neither
Herbert.
one.
Let me tell you, Justin Herbert does not have an offensive line. He does not have a running back. He lost his number one wide receiver. He still showed up. That's
What do you
I'm
mean he
saying.
lost his
We
number one
talking
wide
about this stuff.
receiver?
Keenan Allen hurt his back.
Like he ain't got Mike Williams right over there catching over two defenders.
Yes, Mike Williams ain't caught nothing all year. That's what I'm saying. He's making him play. That's his plays. Come on, man. Give that man his credit. He got Joe Burrow got Tyler Boyd. Joe Burrow got
Isn't Hunter Henry
He got
playing?
no O-line.
No one say he.
The Chargers don't either. We lost Mike Pouncey. Well, not we.
But
They
do
lost
you-
Mike Pouncey.
But do
The
you
leader
understand that Joe Burrow's on pace for 70 sacks?
Yeah, part of
You
that's
need
Joe
to get
Burrow's
him out of
fault.
there, bro.
So Hunter Henry isn't playing for the
Hurt him.
Chargers?
Huh?
Say what, Q?
Hunter Henry isn't playing for the Chargers? Like,
Yeah, honey, he's
Herbert still
playing-
got some talent.
He's not making plays like that. Hunter Henry's playing. He's having a horrible year. They have now. He does have some talent around him now. I'm not saying there's no talent in
A
San
better
Diego,
coach.
but there's talent in Cincinnati as well. Like I said, he lost his Pouncey's out. That's his number one offensive lineman. They got injuries all up and down the board. This guy's making plays though. Did you see that touchdown pass?
Facts. I think that it's pretty much like it's a situation where we're gonna have to wait on guys like Herbert. And in Cincinnati, that situation is so up in the air because they don't have a defense right now. I look at the Chargers; they have a solid D line. Like they have good linebackers. What's his name? Ingram and the other.
Ingram was out.
Yeah,
Ingram was out this week.
Joey Bosa.
And I'm not saying Herbert's not balling and he's not better, but I still think that we gotta wait to see what Cincinnati can do with Joe Burrow because his talent is right there.
Now I will say this. This weekend I watched that Cincinnati game. That wasn't Joe Burrow's fault. It was all over the place, just messed up. But what I'm saying, my point is this. Everybody's saying like Joe Burrow is just the next. He is not that. That's what I'm saying. He's not a difference maker. He's the guy.
How you gonna say that? But you just hyped up Justin Herbert, who literally only got in the game because they hurt the black QB.
Justin Herbert made a difference. You saw it if you watched the Hard Knock show. They wanted Justin Herbert to play then. They've been saying that this guy flashes. His teammates always talk good about him. That first touchdown pass he threw was incredible. He threw 4 touchdown passes in the game. No interceptions. The guy threw for almost 300 yards. He's doing his thing, and he's doing it. Like I said, Keenan Allen got hurt in the first half. So he didn't do it with both weapons. He was making things happen all around him. Hunter Henry ain't played good. He was throwing it to no-name receivers. You got KJ Hill. The guy's making plays, and he's making them with his legs and with his arms. So he did his thing. He did what he's supposed to do. And I'm not saying, like I said, Joe Burrow, we do have to wait and let him see what he's going to do, but he's not what everybody's saying he is. I watched this guy. He's closer to Sam Darnold than he is to this great quarterback we were talking about. And that ain't all his fault. Just like with Sam Darnold, all of that is not his fault. Part of that is the situation he's in. But a part
Sam
of
Darnold
ain't
ain't never looked as good as Joe Burrow. I've never seen Sam Darnold look as good. Has looked as good.
To me, Joe Burrow's comp would be somewhere between like I would see Jared Goff and maybe like a Bridgewater. Like I think that's where his his intangibles lie. I think that you put a team around him, they're going to be more so scheming guys open for Burrow to hit him as opposed to Burrow having like the zip that a guy like Hunter Henry has. But that's not a knock. Like that's really just shows like the difference in what you have to do to accommodate certain players. Like, would you take that away from Lamar Jackson for the fact that they have to scheme certain guys open for him to get going by starting out with runs first? That's not a knock to me. That's just more so we're at the age now where we have to begin to understand coaching as how can we accentuate the intangibles of these players to get the best product and get the wins. And I think that we're just kind of in a wait period right now to see what Cincinnati can do with the offensive line. And we're in a wait period to see if Justin Herbert could possibly be the steal of the draft, to see if like, damn, this guy can make his guys elevate. And maybe we could see a playoff berth in the next year or two, and we'll be right back at it.
I will say this. Going back to Carolina, Sheldon, your boy Kyle Allen was looking good for 5 games too. Until they got some game fill on that motherfucker, and then now he got his ass knocked the fuck out last Sunday.
You know what? Yeah,
that
he
nigga
did.
Got his ass
They did
split.
that.
The thing about Kyle Allen is that was a great coaching job. I'm not gonna lie. I watched, of course, I watched all those games. He managed the game like we talked about. Kyle Allen, those games he was winning, he was doing like what we should expect from Jimmy G. He made the crucial throws when he needed to, and of course, it was only 5 to 7 yards out. He wasn't like he was throwing the ball all over the place to win those games. We handed that ball and got that ball to Christian McCaffrey any way we could and rode his back until we rolled him out. So now when you look at that team, the reason why I say Teddy Bridgewater deserves a ton more credit. Hey, this dude is a winner. That's all he is. And he's making plays all over the field since Christian got hurt. Christian getting hurt, I hate somebody getting hurt, but him being out has been a blessing in disguise because this dude is moving the ball. Like I told y'all, if you look back at the beginning of the season, I talked about Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson has been the man. This dude, I think he caught like 11 balls Sunday. So this dude been the man. And then, you got DJ on the other side making plays. You got Curtis Samuel jumping back there playing running back. He's making critical third down catches. They throwing the ball, doing everything. The only thing they're missing is they don't have a tight end right now. So losing Greg Olsen hurts. But other than that, Teddy is making plays, man. Teddy making them with his legs too. So Teddy that man. He's 3-0 in his last 3 games. That's all I got to say.
We're gonna ride with him on this show, man. You know how we do, brother.
Oh yeah.
What's Nick? What's Joe Burrow's record?
They are 1-3-1.
1-3-1. Herbert's what? I think games Herbert won.
I believe it's only
0-4.
Okay.
0-4.
Yep. Speaking of QBs, Q, I wanted to get your thoughts on the whole Dak situation in Dallas last Sunday, with him and his injury and now being out for the season, and it looks like a long recovery. I think his surgery was successful, which is very good. But what are your thoughts on how that situation played out, and also just the whole Dak situation in general with this now being a factor?
I thought it's pretty simple, man. It's simple, man. Like, these owners ain't shit. It's simple. Get your money. Deion Sanders is the blueprint. Get your money. Stop letting these folks play with you. Le'Veon Bell's about to get traded, but he got a bag. So if your winning means more to you, then take the franchise deals. If winning does not matter and you want the security, be willing to put your season on the line. And you will get the bag if your talent demands it. I think that players have to begin to see that they run this shit. They run this entire thing. They are the lifeblood of the industry. If they really wanted to take care of Dak, if they really wanted to honor Dak, it shouldn't have been him when he was on a stretcher. They should have honored him by putting a name and putting a actual X for him to sign. You see what I'm saying? Like, it should have been on a contract in which they honored him, because Tony Romo hasn't taken you to the playoffs more than Dak. It's simple, bro. They just don't respect black quarterback play, and that's very eloquently understood when you look at Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee and how quickly they are willing to give just people contracts because of their relationship with coaches. And we understand which type of players get relationships with coaches most of the time when they're quarterbacks. Who gets the best buddy-buddy relationships with their owners. And Sheldon knows very well because his quarterback, who was an MVP, is now playing for Bill Belichick. So this is all just a matter of exercising your power and exercising just caution when dealing with these organizations. It's really unfortunate and it's heartbreaking the fact that he's had such an awful year with the losses that he's endured. But at the end of the day, let this be a cautionary tale to anybody who is in sports, and you have the pull, you have the national appeal, you have the advertisements. Hold your ground and make these owners do right by you. And if they don't, somebody else will. And there is sacrifices. The same way you sacrifice a year and maybe 2 years, maybe your whole career, just so you can do right by Dallas. You could have sacrificed 12 months of your career, and then you could have been right. This is not to blame. This is just to say that, Le'Veon Bell gave us a blueprint, and he got a bag. So
Le'Veon was cut today, Q. We're gonna get on that. Let me ask y'all all a question about that though. With that, just my opinion. Do y'all think that him getting hurt is like a guarantee for him to get money now from them? And the reason why I say that is because now, all of America's watching, and he got the support of pretty much everybody behind him at this point. Before it was like, if you're going to be America's team, you really got to look out for this man at this point because he has sympathy behind him at this point. Don't y'all think that's the case? Or do you think that now they got an excuse to not extend the man?
That was actually one of the questions that I had, Shelton. And I still don't really have an answer because like what Q said, it got to this point to where his bone had to be sticking out of his ankle for people to be like, oh, we probably should pay this man. So it's hard for me to say that Dallas will do right by him, but like you said, it is also America's eyes is on America's team as far as will they let him walk in free agency because he's an unrestricted free agent after this season, or will they try to give him some type of deal to sign? Maybe this injury humbles him as far as like within their price range. But like Q said, if I was him, I'll just take my chances. I wouldn't have let it got this far. Because either you were going to re-sign or not, as far as for me, for Dak's perspective.
So did you have that same energy while he was in contract negotiations?
Yeah, remember I was fighting for him to get his money, and then it got to that point. I think I would talk to Ken. I was like, I think I said on the podcast, I was like, bro, just take the bread what you can get now. Because it's like the longer you drag this out, I don't know if you even will get that outside of Dallas because they're the ones who see you the most. They're the ones who value you the most.
Well, here's I think it's both. I think Dallas could potentially not pay him, but I think he's going to get money regardless because I think there are enough teams out here that don't have quote unquote a franchise QB that are willing to take a flyer on him. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to minimize injuries. Everything there's certain things that are gruesome. That was gruesome, but it is an ankle, and it is something that you could come back from. Obviously, you need your base to throw and everything. So I'm not saying that he's just going to snap right back and be right where he was, but it is something I believe he can overcome. And I think that there are teams that, if it isn't the Cowboys, that are going to give him, an opportunity. And then we just got to see what he looks like. What does he look like when he comes back?
I just hate that that's the convo, FIFO. I hate that that's where we are now. That's what really makes my stomach turn is the fact that we're now at a place where we're talking about, well, let's see what Dak can prove off an injury. It's like, no, this man took you to 2 playoffs. Jerry, what did Tony Romo do for you? You gave him what? What is it? $104 million, $50 million signing bonus? This man gave you 2 playoff games, 2 home playoff games. I'm sorry, one at the Rams and 1 at home. And he beat Russell Wilson. This is not to say that Dak Prescott is a top 5 QB. This is to say that this is how business works. And that the business side came up and it was time for him to get what he was due. Nobody looked at Carson Wentz. Nobody looked at Jared Goff and said, well, what can they do without who? Let's see. There was no qualifiers. And I know that you're not making this point. It's just that I hate that we're here now when it should have been he was in line to get that 4-year deal. And y'all wanted to get a 5th year just for what? So it could be player friendly. So it could be team friendly. No, that's not how this goes. This is not how this goes. If you're gonna put that 5th year, you better put some 5th year of bread on it. That is equivalent to what the guys like Mahomes are about to get. That's just what the business was. And the actual side of it is that people don't believe Dak Prescott was worth that. So now they want to play politics and play media narratives and, oh, well, Dak should be thankful that he got up for. No, Dak should get what he's worth because y'all don't do that for nobody else. And I'm sick of it. And I hate that we're here.
But Q, I was very adamant during that time, and I'll keep my same energy.
Right.
He wasn't worth the contract he was asking for. And I've said that several times.
But how many QBs are actually worth the contract?
But what is worth though? Worth is only what you are up for. It is for what the market has been set. It has nothing to do with what your production is. People need quarterbacks. It's a premium position.
Correct.
So if the quarterback position was up and this was what the market was set at, Dak was in line to get that. If they wanted to put a 5-year on it, they should have gave him 5 years worth of bread. Instead, they tried to get 5 years to make it team friendly so they could let him go if they needed to. No, he has earned it.
And that's the thing. I mean, even if you look at his contract 2 years from now, it would have been team friendly because he would have been at a bargain at that point. How we talk about some of these players, when you look back at how they were signed, earlier, and now they are on bargains compared to what the market has dictated and pushed. But I still think him being him, he was on a record-breaking pace to start this season, and he was carrying that team on his back, even though they weren't winning games like that. But I think that Dak was in line to get his money. And they just knew they had to address some issues on defense, but he was going to get his paper because he was moving that ball around. And you don't think so?
Nope.
I still think he's going to get his money. I think now more so than ever. Like I said, I think.
So you think Dallas is going to pay him?
I think Dallas is going to pay him. Dallas is going to pay him.
He's going to get a Teddy Bridgewater contract, bro. He's going to get a Teddy Bridgewater contract when he gets back from injury. I guarantee that.
Dak is going to get a 2-year deal with Indianapolis, and we all going to be sitting here talking about some $20 million. And I'm telling you, it's going to piss me off because it shouldn't have gotten this far. It shouldn't have been here. We shouldn't have been here. I'm an Eagles fan, and Carson Wentz is, and I'm not trying to take the conversation, but you know what I'm about to say. Like Carson Wentz hasn't showed me that MVP since 2017, and I love this fucking team. So it's a matter of me just being real, bro. This is the Cowboys I'm talking about. So if I'm talking about the Cowboys taking care of their players, this is obviously serious. Because obviously I don't want this team to do anything good. But this is what Dak deserved as a man, bro, and he just deserved his worth.
And I agree with that. Let me ask y'all something. Do y'all think that is the state of the league, that the reason why he didn't get his money? Or is it just the fact that he's with Dallas and Jerry Jones that he didn't get his pay? Because say it was flipped, he was on the Eagles and Wentz was with Dallas. Would Dak have gotten his money with Philly?
I'll say this, Shelton. Andy Dalton with the Cincinnati Bengals got paid.
Mm-hmm.
There was no question that Andy Dalton was going to get paid. He took the Bengals from his rookie contract to 5 consecutive playoffs, no playoff wins, but he got paid. And people was upset about him getting paid, but he got paid after the fact. So for me, it's just like Q said, he beat Russell Wilson in a playoff game. Not a lot of people can say that.
Lost to the team that went to the Super Bowl.
But I guess what I'm asking, is it Jerry? Is this a Jerry thing? Or are we saying that this is a race thing on a whole? You understand?
I'm saying it's an ownership thing.
Yeah. It's Jerry, basically. Jerry don't value Dak.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it's more Jerry than it would. Like, we take Dak and put him in any other situation, he'd have got his money by now. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's necessarily race related. I just think it's Jerry pulling this power move. And maybe it was because he gave Romo all that money before and it didn't pan out. That could be the reason.
Yeah, but that's your fuck up. How you spend your bread is on you. Don't go into my pockets based off of your fuck ups.
Right.
He literally paid the whole defense that ain't worth a shit right now. That's they on pace to be the worst defense in the NFL history, damn near.
Marcus
right.
Giving up record-breaking yards per game.
Right. I completely agree.
The Giants have not scored over 16 points all season. They dropped 30-something on the Cowboys.
Right.
Daniel Jones look decent.
And that's hard to do.
Chill out. Going too far now. We talking about the brother now. Jerry Jones does not know how to manage football teams.
Not at all.
And I'm saying this because I acknowledge that he's a Hall of Fame owner, whatever the fuck, but based off them 3 Super Bowls that when I was still on Similac and all that shit. But that's a long time ago. I'm a grown ass man now. Q, you a grown ass man. We were kids back then, if anything. He ain't done shit in 20 years.
Tupac
And
was
he got the
alive.
audacity not to pay Dak because he talking about he ain't done shit and he ain't worth it. What the fuck? Come on, man. We said we gonna talk about ownership. Let's talk about ownership and the higher ups. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, y'all ain't shit either. Fuck
Yeah,
They
both
have
of
no
y'all.
idea what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing, man. They have no idea what they are doing.
It's a complete power trip, man. And you can see it by like you see they hired Mike McCarthy, and you had better candidates all across, up and down the board. You could have hired Eric Bieniemy. You could have hired a lot of different people, but they did want that person where they could stay in the mix, kind of. So I don't see where that franchise has an upside because you have leadership that way.
Let me just say it like this, Shelton.
The enemy coming to the Falcons. I saying it first.
That's a fact. And we can simplify it down like this. Jerry Jones is the James Dolan of the NFL. It's that simple. It is
He
that
just got
simple.
titles. He just won titles in the 90s.
It is that simple. It is that simple. And that's why it's just a matter of ownership that we have to begin to understand. People get me wrong and they think that I'm trying to make everything a race thing. First of all, everything is inherently a race thing. But at the end of the day, that's what informs our everyday decisions. So when people talk about business and ownership, of course, you can't take race out of business. What were the first businesses in America? Slaves. So don't talk to me about what. So let's not talk about is it a race thing. It's just a matter of the everyday dealings within business, the everyday dealings within the higher ups, within the halls of capital, within the halls of the NFL ownership. They get off on only hiring their brothers. It's a fraternity. It's the same way. If you get on at a job and you put your cousin on, that's somebody that you knew. So there's a reason why the black wide receiver coaches and scouts for the Pittsburgh Steelers don't get head coaching or offensive coordinator jobs, but they keep pumping out wide receivers every year. No one says anything. Eric Bieniemy, this is his second year. If he doesn't get a job, something's weird. They fired Jim Caldwell. Meanwhile, they brought in fake Belichick. He came and win 6 games in a season. So you want to talk to me about Todd Bowles and the New York Jets? What has Adam Gase done? What is people talking about Bruce Arians and his genius in doing this? Man, listen, Lovie Smith had them on a track to win 9 games the next year. They could have been building something with his methodology and his ideology around defense by now if they trusted in him. I understand that certain people have to get let go. I understand that certain people fail regardless of race, but we have to begin to look at who is put in position to succeed within sports, who is put in within decision-making positions. Mike Tomlin is 5-0. They ain't saying nothing about that man.
Right.
But now you want to honor Dak when he's going out like a warrior. Man, that look like a slave who just died for the fucking plantation. That shit is not okay. That shit is not okay.
Crying, boy. Damn, he was shedding them. He was crying.
Shit get me hot, man. Shit get me so hot, man.
Cause everybody knew looking at him like, bro, he's waving goodbye to all that money that he was looking at.
Because he knew Master was gonna kick him off the plantation.
But
that's what's gonna happen.
And I was watching the Chargers, man, and I'm rooting for the Chargers so hard. Because I know, like you just said, Q, I know that it's a short leash for what's his name?
Anthony Lynn.
Anthony Lynn. I know he got a short leash.
Tried to fire him 2 years ago.
I know, that's what I'm saying, and he's doing a decent job. I mean, he's
doing more of a decent job, bro. He's actually doing a really good job. He was the first motherfucker to say Phillip need to go. All right.
And the fact that, like I said, injuries are up and down the board on that team. Yep. I'm like, man, I hate it. I hate it for him because he's going to be the one out of all those coaches we just named, Gase, Detroit's coach, all those guys, he's going to be the one that gets fired first. And I hate it. And you're right. That part is true. It's a race thing, and he's going to be replaced by one of those good old boys.
Because it's so passive, man. I need people to get that it is not a matter of, which black people can I exclude from decision-making positions? That's not what they're saying. They're looking at it like, man, my good buddy from my frat, my good buddy that I go fishing with, my good buddy that I deep sea hunt for trout with and swordfish hunt with, and the people I go into the wood, like the people who are at the coaching dinners, the people who are at the coordinator retreats. Who are these people? What do they look like? They don't look like us. It's just a fact. So when they say, man, I got a position that's open for coaching, who the fuck they gonna call, bruh? They're not calling. They're not gonna call the black defensive line coach. They're not gonna call him. They're going to call.
They can give him an interview, but it's gonna be because
of
the rule.
protocols. Right. And I also want to talk about the CBA. That's something that people need to address. Players need to get better representation, and players need to begin to think smarter, because the CBA, the fact that you all can even have that exploitive franchise tag and as an option, that's a failure on y'all's negotiating as a union, and y'all need to get on that, because that's ridiculous. That's the last thing I'm gonna say about that.
Well, the only way they'll bring him back is for a PR move, which speaks to what Shelton is saying, sympathy. That's the only reason. Does Jerry move like that? Doesn't seem like it. Stephen Jones came out and said he's our quarterback of the future. You can't believe you can't believe anything that motherfucker say. We have Republicans, tell you one thing and completely did another this year and don't give a damn about it. So words mean very little to these guys.
Didn't Stephen Jones say that Tony Romo was going to end up being the starting quarterback again?
Yeah, they tried to replace Dak early.
That motherfucker still ain't back. And when he got a Corona deal and went back to ESPN or CBS.
Yeah, I think, man, it's like I've been saying it. You can go pull the tape, guys. Been saying it for a minute. Jerry Jones don't want Dak. It's really that simple. Mm-hmm. They can blame it on him asking for another fifth year because he really wanted if he would have gave it to him. He just don't want him. And I'm going to just say this too. Jerry Jones don't want a black quarterback as his franchise. That's it. He enjoyed that success when Tony Romo, business must have been booming. And that's it. We know he had Quincy Carter. I remember. Quincy Carter didn't last that long. Quincy Carter also said that partly was his fault. He came on this very program and told us that too. But the fact of the matter is, he plays in Texas. We know how they get down in Texas. Jerry Jones don't want a black quarterback. That's it.
The only thing I'll push back on that, Ken, is he don't want a black quarterback that's not going to be like in that Mahomes rank. Let me tell you this, is that when you run a plantation, you don't want just anybody being the face of your plantation. If you're going to use a slave, you want the best slave. And we know that Dak is not the best. And I'm not saying that the players, I'm just saying that, bro, we telling them just shut up and go in the field, right? So let's just use an analogy. So since y'all want them to just shut up and go in the field, let's talk about who is in the field. And y'all only want the best and useful ones that you see. He the best of the best. They want the ones who are going to be more so pleasant, more so reaching out. And by every account, by every reporter from ESPN to Fox to even the Dallas pages, Dak is not a guy who eats out the hand of Jerry, like some of those guys on that team are who got their contracts. And let's not say what that is, but we know what that is. And we know what we call people like that. And let's just say that they got to do what they got to do to feed their families. But at the least, we can say that they are agreeable, the agreeable ones. And Mahomes is an agreeable one. Lamar, he's just so spectacular. They have to put up with him. Let him start, fighting the dog, and he's out of here too. It don't matter. It don't matter. They need the exceptional ones. Dak is not an exceptional one. So Jerry, he's going to stick with the white mediocre guy in Andy Dalton, because that's just who he can actually bond with and who he can actually wrangle around to get a contract that's going to be team friendly. Dak, a man who wants his worth, a man who don't want to be a slave, a man who says, I want my money. I'm not here to play games with you. Y'all want discounted contracts, but y'all don't want discounted play. That doesn't make any sense. So Jerry, he's going.
And there's a certain messaging that sends when you have Andy Dalton out there being the quarterback, getting paid. Granted, it came by injury, but who knows? He probably would have been benched because they weren't winning games. Dak was putting up all-time numbers. It doesn't matter. You're not translating those into wins. Those are some of the things you would have heard. The thing about what Dak, to kind of add a little bit to what you were saying, Q, is that Dak tried to do everything to appease the master. He tried to make sure that all the slaves, quote unquote, got on the field. He said that, oh, we're gonna stand for the flag. That's what we don't do that around here. He did everything. He subverted his will to appease that of the master, so he can go out there and perform on the field at a high level at minimum pay. And then when it was time for him to get compensated for it, it didn't get those things returned. He didn't get those benefits back to him in exchange for that, because he wasn't one of the exceptional ones. He was performing at a certain level like that, and he was saying and doing all of the good things that he needed to do, but he wasn't exceptional. And
because his talent didn't outweigh his pride. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, though, is that in their eyes, his talent doesn't match the pride he has. A guy like Deshaun Watson, a guy like Patrick Mahomes, a guy like Lamar Jackson, people will be like, how is that a race thing? That doesn't make any sense. First of all, it's not a race thing. Everything is a race thing. We're just talking about football. So if we're talking about football, we have to just take into account what is naturally going to be a part of the process of identifying who gets money in this industry. You are a worker as an athlete. You are a laborer. You are the lifeblood of the industry. The people who reap the surplus value that you're actually worth are the owners. They are the capitalists who own the team. So they look at Dak Prescott and they say, he's not one of the exceptional slaves. He's not Deshaun. He's not like Michael Jordan-esque on the field. He's not Michael Vick 2.0 without the arm in terms of, accuracy. And even though Mike wasn't that accurate, but still. And he's not Patrick Mahomes, the guy who's on the track to be the greatest player of all time by ESPN media and Fox and the media narrative standards. So we're talking about these three specific narratives. And who is Dak Prescott? The guy who lost to the team in the NFC who went to the Super Bowl, and the guy who lost to Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry, is that really like grounds for not paying your quarterback when it's time? The only thing that can stop you from doing that is saying, I don't think you're worth it. And if you don't think he's worth it, let him walk. But they didn't want that. They wanted to drag him along. They wanted to get him by his leash and say, you should just take this deal and be happy because we the ones who drafted you. Oh, no. Tony Romo hurt his back. Y'all put me out there. I balled out. And now you want me to be on the field putting my fists up crying like Denzel in Glory. That shit ain't cute. That shit ain't cool. And we out here talking about what Dak should be taking. Dak should have got paid the summer, but it didn't happen. And that's on Jerry Jones. And no, he's not going to get paid. And yes, he's going to end up going somewhere in Indianapolis. Yes, he's going to be somewhere at some, bum team where he's going to have to take a 2-year deal, just like they did Cam Newton, an MVP. And we talking about an MVP who had to take scraps from the league. You saw how this is the story of Antonio Brown. The minute that your conduct outweighs your talent, the minute that your pride outweighs the worth that they think you are worth, they will drop you. And that is what happened. And that is what Dak has just experienced. Sorry, son. You can't fight, and you can't fight in the ring anymore.
It took a white man to get Bill O'Brien out of Texas. Out of Houston.
On now.
The Watt had to get into it with him, and they were like, "Yeah, you got the bounce."
Speaking of a head coach and GM getting fired, same thing happened with the Falcons, except it wasn't the same person. Dan Quinn and what's his name? Dimitroff. They're out in Atlanta. What was the last loss that cost them? It was actually to your Carolina, right? The Panthers.
Yes, it was. That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
What direction should the Falcons go in?
Does your hat say whore on it?
No, it's Hornets. This is a half Charlotte Hornets.
He said whore. You thought he was horny.
We're a family-friendly show. Damn, man.
With the Falcons, the Falcons gotta blow it all the way up. Q texted me, and he was like, "Should Julio demand a trade?" And I was like, "The Falcons should be proactively seeking one, because at this point, none of your, strawberry on top, cherry on top of guys, they're like the sexy guys. Like it's just they can't do nothing for you no more. You got to look at what the Dolphins have done and rebuild. I think you got to get rid of Matt Ryan. You got to get rid of Julio. You got to get rid of Keanu O'Neal. You got to get rid everybody that has some type of value on that roster. You need to get rid of, and you need to tank for Lawrence or Justin Fields, whoever you like.
Justin, I told you, it's got to be Justin.
Either one, whoever the hell you want. Get as many first and second and third round picks as you can, and just rebuild. It's that time because you still have young pieces with that Falcons team, a la Calvin Ridley, that you can move forward with. And it's that time. It's that time. And I think that the Falcons would be doing themselves a disservice if, first of all, you don't move Julio on with dignity, number one, and move Matt Ryan on with dignity. Because having those type of Hall of Fame type players, both of them I think are going to be Hall of Fame players. Both of them, I know.
Matt Ryan
got an MVP and he played in the Super Bowl. And you look at his numbers. Look, he's going to be top 15 in a lot of different things.
We talking Dimitri.
And I'm not saying first ballot at all. No, I just think that eventually he'll get in. His numbers will get him in. Julio, I think he should be first ballot. Dominant beast.
He won't get in first ballot. Go ahead.
He should. But we just need to move on from these guys. Get them in situations that make sense for them. You know what I'm saying? Don't cut them. Let's not drag their name through the mud and just move those guys on. It's time.
Here's what I say when I don't know who I know it was us. I don't know if it was on this program, but we talked about the possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And I said if the Texans win and the Falcons lose, Quinn would be out of there. That's exactly what happened. Yeah. Like, it was simple mathematics to me. And he was gone. He couldn't afford to lose again. And you definitely couldn't afford to lose to Teddy Bridgewater without Christian McCaffrey. That's just inexcusable. Not when you have, and I don't know did Julio get hurt?
Julio's been hurt. He got a hamstring issue.
Okay, but you still got Ridley and you still got super MVP quarterback. You don't lose to a guy who was almost out the league. But
what you mean, TG21? No.
Ty Gurley played a heck of a game, boy. He looked like his old self.
Todd's tire is flat, okay? He's just his days are done. All right. So
he's not the same guy.
Nah, he isn't.
I think I agree with FIFO. You know me, no disrespect to Julio, but I saw the writing on the wall a long time ago when I tried to compare him to Adam Thielen.
Oh my God, don't bring this up.
I'm just saying, bro. I saw the writing on the wall. I was like, bro, it's about that time. It's about when the black guy got to compare to the wide receiver.
Only by another black guy. That's the problem.
Hey, they call me Nicky Damas. All right, I seen it. I seen it.
Where Adam Thielen at right now?
Adam Thielen baller.
Is he now?
I think so.
I don't think he is.
I gotta look at the stats. There's some white boy in Minnesota who agree with me. But it was that, man, it's crazy how you can pinpoint the beginning of the end with one game. It was the fucking Super Bowl. And then after that, when Kyle Shanahan left, that was it. So, and it's crazy you see the breakdown. Like, again, the roster is super talented by name. And some by production. However, I think it just took them a long roundabout way to figure out it was the coach. They literally had to fire the whole staff except the coach to see that it's the coach. Yeah. And to me, they wasted about 3 or 4 prime years of Julio because of that. The injuries to the defense I do take into account,
especially like a year or two ago.
However, but when we see coaches like Mike Tomlin, you know what I'm saying? When we see other coaches who deal with so much bullshit on the field and off the field,
they still produce.
You still produce.
Man, I'm so glad Q mentioned that about Tomlin because I thought about this week, man. The man is 4-0 or 5-0. Wait, no, 4. It don't matter. He under
5-0.
And they ain't saying 5-0, and they ain't saying shit. The disrespect, man. But let somebody spill water on the sideline. Oh man, they talking about it for a week.
Hold on, he did clip a motherfucker. So I can't excuse that. And I'm a Bengals fan. Pittsburgh ever hear me say something?
They're 4-0. Yeah, they're 4-0. That's good. I'd clip somebody too. That's street ball right there.
But if Eric Bieniemy, I agree with you. I think Atlanta is the perfect destination.
It's the spot.
Either to help Matt Ryan get back to what he was, or to
No.
draft.
He's gonna want his own quarterback.
Yeah, or the draft his QB. Either way, I'm fine with it.
Well, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, Nick, but Matt Ryan would be the perfect mentor for whoever they bring in next at quarterback. I'll say that because Matt Ryan is a leader, if nothing else. Now,
Will he go down willingly though?
I think so. I think so. I think Matt Ryan is that type person. He's not. I mean, he's a champion and he's a fighter in his own right. You know what I'm saying? But he's not going. I don't think he's going to put up too much of a fuss. I think he knows. He knows.
Professional.
Yeah, he is.
He's a professional.
What do y'all think about Denver as a spot
for him? For Matt Ryan?
For Matt Ryan.
I like Drew Lock.
Yeah,
but Matt Ryan puts him in win now mode.
Yeah.
I was going to even say something even more obvious. What about Cleveland?
No.
Nah.
Matt
They're
Ryan?
fine. They're 4-1. They're fine.
He's too much of a salary cap. They're paying him way too much, and they got a lot of other guys in Cleveland. That money wise,
go to Carolina.
Now he
be quarterback.
Hey Nick, he'd be better off in Cincinnati. That's
Chicago.
All right, Sheldon, bro. I'm about to can't cut the damn feed. I'm I'm getting tired of this horny motherfucker talking shit.
But I think Chicago can work if we see what Nick Foles is doing. Obviously,
Nick Foles about to win him a title. What you mean?
Oh, they said in the chat, San Francisco.
Yeah, San Fran makes a lot of sense.
Hey,
for
you
Matt
already
Ryan.
know the system. Man, that's perfect.
Hey,
That's perfect.
low key, Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I think Pittsburgh wants to redo.
Retires.
I think Tomlin wants his own guy. I think he tired of Big Ben.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I would think, especially that would extend his career longer in Pittsburgh by at least 3 to 5.
And you know what it would do if Pittsburgh could get the right young QB and let them spend more on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously you're not paying the QB. Obviously you got to protect them. But yeah, man.
And to Q's point, they seem like they have a factory of wide receivers that come out of Pittsburgh. This nigga Clearpool, whatever the nigga name, number 11.
Claypool, man, he's the
Claypool.
next Larry Fitz, man. He's like the next Larry Fitz. I'm trying to tell you.
He's tough.
That breakout game against Philly. I know it was against the Eagles, bro, but shit.
No, he was incredible, man.
Yeah.
Hey man, real quick, let me say this: the Braves just won 8-7, so they up 2-0 on the Dodgers. So go Braves.
Beezy, what's going on with the Lions, bro? Are we going to see a QB change at the end of the season? Is it going to be a mid-season coaching? Like, what's going on, man?
Man, I don't know. I hope at this point, I hope Lions lose every single game. The rest, I was mad that they lost. I mean, that they beat Arizona a couple weeks ago. I was like, damn it, because I want them to lose like from here on out. I want them to lose every damn game from here on out because now you got former players. Hey Q, you got former players speaking up about this whole situation. Like everything, everybody knows that Matt Patricia was not the guy right for the job.
It's so bad, man. He really walked in there and really tried to make the whole replication of Belichick. You are not Belichick.
You're not, dude. You're not. Like Jim Caldwell was the coach. He was the right coach for the Lions at the time. The QB loved him. Matthew, if your quarterback, as a GM or owner, if your quarterback loves this head coach, why would you trade this guy away? Like, I mean, why would you get rid of Jim Caldwell?
If I'm gonna be real, Bieniemy in Detroit could do wonders, man. I would love to see him get a fresh start there, man. I like what y'all got in terms of wide receivers.
We need him somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about Atlanta being the spot to win, but Detroit seemed to me like that.
Atlanta make a good shit. Black coach, black city. That's all I'm saying.
Black as hell too, but
Detroit black. Another black.
Yeah, but the last time a black man was in Detroit, it didn't go too well. That's what I'm saying. Let's go somewhere else.
We're talking about Jim Caldwell.
Yeah,
I mean, he had a winning record, 2 playoff appearances in the 4th.
He got fired.
That's what I'm saying. Look, and they still fired his ass.
Right.
That don't make no sense.
So
and it was
to...
in that same season too, Nick. It was in that same season when I think Rodgers. Do y'all recall when Rodgers threw that Hail Mary? It was in that season.
Calvin Johnson just like he just fainted. He just fainted to the damn ground.
that was the deciding factor between 10-6 and 9-7. So it's like y'all really cut him, y'all really let it go of a man for that, like that, and that just shows me that there has to be more of an imperative to get guys who want to install culture.
And even saying that man should have got a job the next day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That part I didn't understand either.
You talking about Caldwell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got a job the next day. Because there's no way you could tell me there was 31 other guys better coaches than him.
Exactly. That's crazy, man.
One last point that I want to bring up about NFL before we move on. Should we start giving more respect to John Gruden?
No.
For what?
Yes, I think so.
Why are you a hater?
Let me. I was a hater because I didn't like him and Mike Mayock going there. Him and Mike Mayock. I just thought it was a bad move. I didn't think that giving them that job was the right way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And
what was you saying, Shep? My bad.
I said, you are right. We should start giving them more respect. I have to. I was apologizing watching that game. Like, man, I really thought that bringing them there, they was making some dumb decisions. When they drafted Ruggs, I thought that was the dumbest thing in the world because I'm like, there's no way he should have been drafted that high. And he balling. So it's kind of like a lot of the decisions that they made have turned out to be right on, whereas it looked crazy from the outside. So you got to give them their respect. I thought that them sticking with David Carr was a mistake. You know what I'm saying? I thought like, dang, this man getting chance after chance. He should have been done. And they stuck with him. So and it's working for them. So I can't even be mad, man. That team looked good. And they won the game.
Speed kills, and the Raiders and Mike Mayock and John Gruden have drafted a lot of speed on that team. And you're seeing it. You know, I think that sometimes Shelton's 100% right. Like, especially the Khalil Mack move. That one was the domino that kind of set off the ability for them to do everything that they're doing. So it kind of makes sense, you know. But I think in the moment, I think everybody here on this program, we were like, "What the hell are you, bro? That's Khalil Mack." You know, but hey, it's panned out. And I even said, let's give this guy a little bit of time to see what he does with these draft picks, because draft picks are valuable, but you got to hit, and they're hitting.
You ain't give him time. The Raiders did. They gave him a 10-year deal. $10 million deal. But he had a hell of time.
Yeah, he had a hell of time, but at the same time, like, everybody was questioning that Khalil Mack move.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was one of the few to say, okay, I agree with y'all. I'm on that boat, but at the same time, draft picks are valuable if you draft right. So let's see what happens with those. And they're hitting. They're hitting.
Not even that. You outscored the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl winning champs. Like, you dropped 40 points on them, and you got Patty Mahomes running around here not knowing what to do. Granted, it's a division game, so they know him the best.
Mm-hmm.
However, we still have I haven't seen Patty not be able to do something in the fourth quarter in a minute. So, like, I think that was his first time that he lost the game by more than 7 points.
He looked human.
Yeah. Well, he was still doing things, but it wasn't to the efficiency and to the pace that we're normally seeing. Like, he still put up 32 points, so that's still a lot. But at the same time, he had to overcompensate because I don't think he's been in a position like that since the Super Bowl, where his defense is not really holding up and he has to do more.
Y'all did the same shit last year. It's the same story. Start talking highly about the damn Raiders, only for them to just do what they have done the previous year before. And you're doing it again.
So you think the bottom gonna fall out?
It's fool's gold.
That Carl was crying wasn't it last year he was crying?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I think it was last year he cried in the game. You know, it was over last year for him. So for him to even be playing right now, though, to me is incredible. Like I said, I thought he was done.
They're 3-2 right now as far as the Raiders, and second in the division. Okay. Not saying much because the only other team in the division really is the Chiefs, but 3-2, they're tied with the Colts. As far as
they're a
playoff team right now.
Yeah, and the teams that they beat, because they beat the Saints pretty good, and then they beating Kansas City, and of course the world's greatest Panthers they beat. So just to say, those three teams, that right
Saints
there.
ain't all that good.
Matt Ryan going to the Saints.
Saints are limited.
All right, so I want to read this super chat. 313 JMO said that Stafford isn't even the problem in Detroit. It's the defense. Lions have the worst D in the NFL. The Bears have been winning without QBs, just defense. That's facts. The Bears have been winning without a QB.
Yeah.
All right. This week NFL picks. I'm still top dog. I'm 9-2.
What's my record?
I think you 8-3, 8-4.
Okay.
You second. I'll say you second.
Brady cost me again. It cost me too, huh? Damn.
Before you gotta get your picks up because you've been missing in action. But the three games that I got for us this week coming up for week 6. Kansas City at Buffalo. Who y'all got?
The Chiefs, baby. The Chiefs gonna bounce back. Buffalo look pedestrian tonight, and I don't think they can keep up in the track meet.
When do they play?
This Sunday, I believe. Let me double check that.
Did Buffalo win?
Not at all.
Oh,
Buffalo got drilled.
Yeah, Buffalo got drilled 42-16.
Oh, well, it's not their fault, man. That's COVID.
Hey, the Tennessee was the team that was hit with COVID, not Buffalo.
The Kansas City Buffalo match.
They didn't want to tackle him, Shelton.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Did you see what Derrick Henry did to that one DB?
No.
When is it, Nick?
It's a Monday night game.
If it's Monday night, I might be tempted to pick the Bills, man.
Based off of this shellacking that they got by Tennessee, I'm gonna go with KC.
I'm gonna go Kansas City.
Josh Norman is still in the dirt.
Man, I'm gonna go with Buffalo, man.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with Buffalo. I think the white Cam Newton gonna put it on.
Spam Newton.
What do you call him?
Spam Newton. Spam
Newton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think COVID had something to do with tonight.
What you got, Shelton?
Oh, it's definitely the Chiefs. Bounce back, Patty.
All right, another big game. The last of the white quarterbacks. Green Bay at Tampa Bay.
Raj.
Green Bay by 20.
Maybe more.
They gonna put them things on them.
Maybe more. I think this is one of those games where Aaron Rodgers comes out and says, all right, he has the 6 chips. Yeah, his name is Tom Brady. Watch this, though. I think that's one of them games.
FIFO, this about to be like when Mike was in the Wizards jersey and Kobe was like priming, and he just came and get that boy about 55 of them things. That's what's about to happen.
I'm gonna go with Green Bay as well.
Man, you've been shitting on Rodgers for the last 2 seasons. You gonna pick the man over Brady?
I ain't been shitting.
Well, Brady's the new target.
I was gonna say, I start off the show saying fuck Brady, so I can't pick Brady. Who you got, Sheldon?
Definitely Green Bay. It's tough to go against Tom in situations like this, but I think because of who he's going against, Aaron Rodgers is gonna show up.
Last game, Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Ken, you was talking about Cleveland. They 4-1. They're tied with Pittsburgh with as the lead division, the lead dogs. This is a big game.
They about to get their ass whooped. The Browns. They're gonna beat the shit out. They're gonna beat the shit out of the Browns. I'm going with the Steelers, man. Black all day.
I'm going with the Browns.
I'm going with the Browns too.
I'm going with the Steelers. You still missing Nick Chubb.
Got Kareem
Hunt. You got Kareem Hunt. You got the better back.
I love Kareem Hunt, but he's not Nick Chubb right now. He's hurt
too.
Want
to be Kareem Hunt right now.
He has a hamstring. Kareem Hunt got a hamstring injury too, so he's playing, but he's hurt.
Pittsburgh by 6.
You said Pittsburgh by 6?
Pittsburgh by 6.
All right, we'll see.
How many touchdowns Q for Claypool?
Let's say about 2, but I think Deontay Johnson, if he play, he gonna get off.
All right, moving on to NBA.
All right, we know why they're here. We got the gang all here. Beezy finally here.
Be on his
Showed
phone
up.
talking to his
I don't know.
he caking on the phone right now.
Yeah, he's siding and smiling. That's all we see is the side and the smile.
He turned his head like, I don't want them to hear me right now. I'm over here talking to my little.
That's what he did.
You can tell he got her saved in his phone as tenderoni.
Hold on, they talking shit. Let me get off.
B said, I told you I'm there around like 11. You trying to hit me when I'm on the thing. I'm on live right now.
Like, yeah,
I'll be over there. I'll be over there by the hour.
Minutes.
Just
Yeah,
play
you
cool.
could. You slide on through.
Cool,
Don't
baby.
be all right.
They talking about the
front door
NFL.
open,
Don't
too.
talk about that.
Yeah, that front door open. Don't even worry about it, baby. You know how to get in.
There's only one thing I want to fight tonight, baby.
Shit, I ain't got to go to work till late tomorrow.
Hey, get his picks real quick, man, before we get.
He ain't watching football, is
He can still
Nah,
pick the damn
what's the
game.
pick?
See,
What
the thing is,
game?
they talking about offense right now.
he? Yeah, he counted.
All right, well, get this shit.
All right,
real quick.
What's the games? What's
B,
the
who you
games?
got for Kansas City at Buffalo?
Kansas City. They coming off an L, so they mad.
Green Bay at Tampa Bay.
Aaron Rodgers.
Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Nigga.
Now you just redefined your friendship with Ken right there.
so Ken, you had the same picks I had?
I definitely had the Steelers beating the Browns.
Okay.
NBA time. First question I got for y'all. It's the same question I've been asking for the last 4
don't
weeks.
you open that.
I'm
don't you
opening the shit, bro.
The NBA
I'm opening
series
the
with
shit.
this bullshit.
I'm
Nick.
over this shit. Q.
Mm-hmm.
The only real nigga I see on this channel right now is Jimmy Butler, a superstar.
How are you gonna disrespect LeBron James by opening this shit with this bullshit?
You say the best for last. That's what they told me.
Jesus Christ!
Is Jimmy a superstar? All right, I'll just assume that we starting here. So, yeah, I think we had to put him here now. I think that we're at a time now, man, where we got to begin to define the game for ourselves and begin to define the game as like the players kind of see it, bro. Because I think that we disrespect our own eyes and we disrespect our own knowledge and we disrespect the players when we don't abide by a lot more of what they have to say in terms of how they interpret the game, because it's like they're living it at every point. How can you say that a superstar is only a superstar if Skip Bayless says it, or if Zach Lowe says it, or if Stephen A. Smith says it? We need to begin to look at guys who are like in the league like, no, bro, it's hard to guard Jimmy. That dude's a superstar. And I think that we can definitely have our own opinions and have our own little barbershop twists on it and whatnot. But at the end of the day, guys like Jimmy have been proving for a long time that they can put their imprint on a game. They can put their imprint on a playoff series. And we give guys like Paul George years ago, probably like last year, star quality. Well, so if that's what a star is, Jimmy leading his team to this finals under the harshest circumstances, in my estimation, that has to put you at least the lower tier of superstar, man. He is at least a superstar. He cemented that.
100%. And I've always said, like, he is that I think he's that player that is the definition of the difference of a superstar and an all-star. He's the last player on that superstar list. Like, if you list all the superstars, he's the last one before you get to start naming the superstars. And any given night, he can move up that list, right? Because you summon things that are special. And sometimes he plays a little bit below that. But we know this about Jimmy. And we saw it, literally saw it. He left it all out there. We saw that. Superstars do that. Champions do that. Dudes with major hearts that deserve to win because they put in the work. They don't cheat the game. That's Jimmy Butler. And, would I want to personally build a franchise around him? Probably not. But do I want him on my team? You motherfucking right.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the best way to put it, FIFO. He teeters that line. I think, like you said, I think he's a superstar if you ask his teammates. Because I'm pretty sure he and I'm not there, so I wouldn't know, but I'm pretty sure he led that team. And there's no way that team would have made it that far without him and his presence and his leadership. So in that sense, he's a superstar, and you do have to game plan for him. So more than anything, you gotta be prepared for Jimmy in that team. Now you got other threats, of course, but that in that sense, in his all-around game, he's a superstar. And the Max Braun bucket for bucket, in those games that he did, not every game, but those games that he did, that said a lot.
So to your point, Shelton, as well. LeBron has won a championship with 3 different organizations.
Only player to do it, NBA history.
Only player to do it. Jimmy Butler, and this shows the difference, but also the value of Jimmy. Has taken 3 franchises that have not been to the playoffs in some time and got them far. Minnesota, before Jimmy got there, not a playoff team. Got there, playoff team. Philly, right? What was Philly doing? Philly is a first or second round loss, right? They went, you know what I'm saying? He elevated that team, let's be honest.
They were one shot away from the
One shot away.
Lost.
You know what I'm saying, for the Eastern Conference Final. Now he goes to Miami, first year with a whole bunch of who the hell are these people? You know what I'm saying? They became household names because of Jimmy. Bam gets respect, obviously deserved, because of Jimmy. Jimmy was the guy that was the controversial guy. Can we win with Jimmy? Is Jimmy ruffled too much feathers? Is Jimmy this? Jimmy wins, but he's not winning championship. That's the difference between being at a top 3 on that list of superstars and being toward the bottom. You're gonna win. I love you. I love to. I don't know if I'm gonna build around you, but shit, I want you on this squad because I know that you bring a certain level of pedigree and tenacity to any team. And if a team cannot handle Jimmy, you're not ready to win. As simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
What you think, B?
Yeah, I say no.
My nigga.
No, I'm saying the only reason why, I mean, I said it last week. I said, like, I feel like in FIFO, you kind of made my point a little bit saying, to me, I consider a superstar somebody you're going to build around. Like, if you got Jimmy Butler, are you going to build around this guy? And if you feel like you're not going to, if he's not a type of player where you can be like, let me grab Jimmy Butler, let me just get everybody else, let me build around him. When I start my franchise, let me build around Jimmy Butler. If he's not that guy, to me, he's not a superstar. Another criteria of mine, personally for me, that I put in the superstar, you got to have stats. You got to have pretty great stats. And you got to have some type of individual accolades, I think, to be considered a superstar in the league. If you look at all the superstars in the league or people who we consider superstars, at some point, you know, whether they made it long in the playoff, made a playoff run or not, they got individual accolades, you know what I'm saying? MVPs, defensive accolades, you know, stuff like that. I just don't think Jimmy's almost there. I think people just get so caught in the moment right now, like what he did this playoff. What if Jimmy Butler get second round exit the rest of this playoff? I mean, the rest of his career. Are y'all gonna still say he's a superstar? Like, for me, I gotta see more. I gotta see like more for him to be considered a superstar. Because like when you look at superstar, so you put him on the level of like the LeBron, the Steph Currys, the Giannis's of the world. Who else?
I think he's better than Giannis at this point.
Oh no, hold on.
I mean, I'll go there. But that's just me because I think we got to begin to develop different terminology, bro, and begin to have our own definitions, I guess, for what.
So, like, if Jimmy a superstar based off what we saw this postseason, is Jamal Murray a superstar? I mean, it almost sounds like y'all saying if based off the criteria what y'all saying about Jimmy, then Jamal Murray's a superstar.
Nah. For me,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know, that's the way
I'm saying, like.
The way that y'all putting criteria on Jimmy Butler, you might well say Jamal Murray is a superstar.
Nah, you're going to the other extreme. Jamal Murray ain't even the best.
Already at the extreme.
It ain't at the extreme. Don't disrespect that black man.
I'm not saying that Jamal Murray is. I'm just saying based off what people criteria y'all giving y'all the way y'all giving Jimmy Butler, you know, you might well say Jamal Murray is a superstar.
So Jamal Murray ain't the best player on his team.
Yeah, and here's my point, man. Is that I feel like the way that we talk about superstars, man, and the way that we talk about Jimmy, to me, and this is not shots at anybody. To me, this is just like the confusion of what ESPN and media has done to what we understand with our eyes to see. And it's like Jimmy by himself, 2 games against LeBron and AD. And to your point, Beezy, even if he does go second round for the rest of the time, you know who he beat? Allen Iverson. Because AI did the same thing. He got 1 game against a Pantheon team.
Also, though, but AI got accolades too, though. Individual
He do, and he was an MVP. He was an MVP. But I got, man, this to me, this Heat team, if they can do anything that replicates or comes close to this, they will go down as like that legendary like Heat team, man, that almost went 7 games with LeBron James in his should have been MVP season, and Anthony Davis and his should have been Defensive Player of the Year season.
Matter of fact, and Q, you helped my argument too, because I think you said something like, I can't believe it was you or somebody else in the Dating Sports crew.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jimmy Butler is the Chauncey Billups of like, was that you that said that? Was like, someone said like,
it wasn't Q, but it was somebody else.
Someone said like, because Chauncey Billups was like, he was a dude that had great playoff like runs and great. I mean, come on, it's factual. You can look it up.
Right.
Chauncey Billups had great playoff runs, and in the sense that we won a championship. Did we consider Chauncey Billups a superstar? No, even though he was a Finals MVP and we won a championship with the Pistons. Chauncey Billups was not a superstar though. Like no one considered Chauncey Billups a superstar in the league during those Pistons run. Come on.
My argument. I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's you.
No, I'm just saying. We didn't.
I was gonna say the B's point though, Q, and this is where I have to agree with B, is the fact that superstars lead the league in something. AI didn't just lead the league in points; he led the league in steals. You know what I'm saying? Superstars, they'll lead in something or multiple things, or be top 2, top 3 in multiple categories.
Do superstars? I'm sorry.
Huh?
Do superstars lead their team as a 5th seed to the NBA Finals? Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like we're talking about like
was Latrell
Jimmy
Sprewell superstar? He took the 8 seed in Knicks.
Was Latrell Sprewell at any point ever as sought after as Jimmy Butler was in his prime of his youth? No. Boston, Philadelphia, Chicago, New York,
Golden State, Minnesota. What are you talking about?
Fam, he had about 10 teams interested in Jimmy Butler in 2015, 2016. That was never a thing for any player of Jamal Murray or these people's caliber. And the criteria that I'm at is that you have to be sought after as a guy to be a contender for a championship. And let's not fall to the propaganda. Because after Minnesota, there was a very clear smear campaign against Jimmy's character.
Agreed.
As if we can't understand that Andrew Wiggins and Karl Towns really don't want it that badly as Jimmy. And Jimmy can get his own shot. Jimmy has been in Defensive Player of the Year conversations. He's been a guy sought after in free agency multiple times as the guy. And he took his team as a 5th seed, beat the MVP. Now, this is not to say that Jimmy Butler is a top 10 player, but I think that we can. I'm sorry, as a top 3, top 5 player, but he has worked his way into that 10 conversation. He is one of the 10 guys I want to go to war with. I'm sorry, and if you're,
but he's not a top 10 best player though. Like if we're talking mentality and toughness, Jimmy's like top 3, but we're talking like the player. Jimmy's not top 10.
He's at least top 15. I would say top 12.
He's top 10, 20. Man. He's worked his way in the top 10, man. Like to me, we were giving people were giving Paul George the 12th best player in the NBA, and Jimmy was not even making top 15. He has leaped these people. I would rather have Jimmy at this point than I would rather have guys like Paul George. I'd rather have guys like him over Victor Oladipo. I would rather have him over guys that, you know what I'm saying, get a lot of top 10 nods. Like, to me, we put Devin Booker in as a top 10 player. Some people do in terms of talent, but it's like Jimmy has produced. Jimmy has taken teams to the playoffs. Jimmy has been the deciding guy. He was the one who put the Sixers in the best position to win. It was Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid who didn't close out on that Kawhi 3-point shot. Jimmy Butler, on the other end, took the ball with 21 seconds left right to the cup, and we were tied up. That's a superstar mentality. He can get his shot. He can create his own shot.
He's not a superstar.
And he's not top 10. Q, by saying that to me,
who are the
feels
superstars
like,
in the NBA? Who are the superstars? Who are the superstars?
Okay, and I was gonna get to that. That statement feels very emotional. It doesn't feel like it's rooted in logic. Like, okay, number one, LeBron, right?
Okay, the greatest player of all time. All right.
Yep. KD.
Okay.
Steph.
Yes.
James Harden.
Sure.
Dame Lillard.
Dame Lillard is not better than Jimmy Butler.
Woo!
I'm not taking him on my team over Jimmy Butler. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm not taking him on my team.
That don't mean he's
I'm not taking him. That's just for me personally. If we're talking opinions.
I'm not saying. Hold on.
I told you not to open the show with this bullshit, man.
You know what I mean? You know why you brought me here? Because I bring the ruckus. All right.
What did I walk into?
I'm taking Lillard.
That is a unique conversation. I want you to finish your list.
Okay.
But Dame and Jimmy are damn near the same player.
Okay, we could put,
for different reasons.
We could put Dame over here on the side as a questionable.
Okay. Sure.
So you still at 4.
I'm still at 4. I'm going through the NBA. AD.
Okay.
I'll give you AD because he just won a title.
Sure, I'll give you that. He won the title.
Danny Green won that title.
Give me Kawhi.
Okay. I'll give you Kawhi.
Give me Giannis.
I can't say Giannis is a superstar. I'm sorry. I cannot. I will not let narratives drive this. I will not let narratives drive. I will not let narratives drive how we view players. I love Giannis. He has not taken his team to the finals or to the brink as the guy. Jimmy just did that. Did that. Without Bam, without Goran Dragic, went against LeBron James, the greatest player or second greatest in any people's estimation, many. And we're talking about, is he a superstar? But yet Giannis gets carried and propped up by the NBA, gets all these tic-tac, Kit Kat awards. We're talking about LeBron's Mickey Mouse ring. Well, Giannis's Mickey Mouse awards in the last 2 years has produced nothing. But Jimmy Butler, everywhere he's been, has won. And now he got his team within two games of winning the finals. Within 2 games.
I was but Giannis is a superstar, period.
He is. And here's the thing.
He's a star to me.
I agree Jimmy's a superstar, but he's just not top 10. He's at the bottom of the list. So I'm gonna keep going.
You only got to 8, I think. You ended on Giannis.
It's not that many. What, superstars?
It's not. There's not that many.
Why are we doing this?
There's not that many. And I feel like it's okay to say that, somebody worked their way into superstardom.
Joker, next person. Damn sure ain't no superstar.
Jokic is not a superstar. Not yet. I really feel like we can say that somebody broke through to superstardom. Why do we act like Jimmy can't just be a superstar for this next 2 years and then he's no longer
He's not going to be a superstar of 2 damn games, bro.
It's not just 2 games.
Not just
it's
games.
a body of work.
It's his run. It's his run to the fucking finals. No one outside of Miami-Dade County thought that he was gonna make it to the finals with that roster.
Kendrick Perkins.
Yes, he did.
And who the hell listened to Kendrick Perkins?
Unfortunately, too many people. But he beat weak ass Minnesota Indiana team.
Oh, not a weak ass.
Indy was weak.
Okay,
so was Portland. But go ahead.
Hey, you know what? I'm with you. They overhyped Portland.
But Dame is a superstar for St. Paul George.
But Dame has a lot of moments that Jimmy don't have.
100.
Superstar moments.
Does he have a finals berth?
Jimmy don't have.
Does he have a finals berth?
Jimmy just got his moments.
Does Dame have an NBA finals moment?
I'm
just asking. Does Dame you said he got more moments than I'm just asking.
I said playoff moments, and Jimmy just got his.
I'm just saying.
Dame was a superstar. Dame is just a superstar just off of who he is and how he played. We talk about Dame Lillard. Nobody fucking talks about Jimmy fucking Butler.
And they should though.
Why?
Hold on.
Why should we talk about Jimmy Butler, bro?
Dame Lillard, first of all, shoots from 40 and had
and goes home every year. And goes home every year.
Where the least amount of points he scored was 45.
I'm going off of what B said too. This is what y'all both agreed upon, I think. You said accolades, and you also got to lead statistics. Has Dame Lillard ever led the league in the points? Has Dame Lillard led the league in assists? Has Dame Lillard ever led the league in steals? Has Dame Lillard in rebounds? Has he won an MVP? Has he won Has he won anything?
I'd build around him.
But he's a superstar, and Butler's not.
I didn't say Butler's not.
I'm saying that Butler is
Yeah.
not a superstar.
I'm saying he is.
Me
I'm
and
just saying
B,
you're at the bottom of the list.
The realest niggas in the room right now is saying that he is not a superstar. You're not gonna elevate this man because of out of body experiences in the
Out of
fucking
body.
thing. Out of fucking body.
He did it twice. He did it twice.
Yes, and he died, came back, and died again. And LeBron,
Can
LeBron,
the Laker fans speak, man?
Come on, man. Miami Heat had to play perfect to beat them.
They
The
had no
Lakers took
Goran
them
Dragic
motherfuckers
or
lightly. And when they decided to dispose of them motherfuckers, they wiped them motherfuckers off the planet of the map.
They
Your
did.
superstar had 12
Oh my
fucking
goodness.
points. He couldn't
The
get
fact
shit.
remains though, Ken, that Jimmy Butler carried that team on his back, and he did it.
Oh my God.
Carried?
He's right. Y'all caught up in the fucking
Yeah,
moment.
they caught up in the
Who was
moment.
the
A
leading
40-point
scorer for
triple-double?
the Miami
Carried?
first round of the playoffs.
I'm
Carried?
very.
Let's not forget Jimmy Butler went he disappeared against Boston.
Was the leading scorer for the Heat in the first 3 rounds. Do you know why Jimmy Butler had to play this out? He had to take up for what the fuck the leading scorer wasn't there to do. Y'all motherfuckers talked about Bam Adebayo more than you talked
That's
about.
true.
I never said
That's
nothing.
true.
I ain't
That's
never
true.
said Ken, I was all
because he's had an out-of-body experience.
Nah,
Ken,
Ken.
Ken.
Don't put Bam on me.
Ken.
I said Bam was gonna get washed by AD.
Hey Ken, don't
He
forget.
was the only nigga that was
Don't forget
about to
Jimmy
play.
Butler went missing in
And
that
he
Boston
did.
series.
Say what, B?
Jimmy Butler went missing in that Boston series. Let's not forget about that.
Hey, who's cooking, B? The white boy.
Tyler and Robinson.
Okay,
Let me ask
pause.
you this question, B.
No,
Let me ask
Nick,
you this
Nick,
question,
no,
B.
Nick, pause right there because this is what I don't get. We let narratives and media drive our definitions. If we're talking about who didn't show up, then why is James Harden in FIFO's superstar list? Stop talking about these arbitrary ass definitions. They have nothing to do with what people are actually seeing on the court. That nigga came out and dropped 2 games on the Lakers. They were supposed to sweep them. They had no Bam. They had no Goran Dragic. They had hobbled ass lineups, and that man pulled 2 games out to get them there. He knew what he had to do to get his team there. Okay, we can say that he took a couple of games off. Okay, does James Harden not take games off? Does Dame not take possessions off? Does Giannis not take whole quarters off? But then we want to tell that these people are superstars. Why can't a man break through and become a superstar, have a short-lived prime as a superstar, and then retire? That's possible. We act like that's just an impossible thing.
What's wrong with being a star? What's wrong with being good?
Because that's not what a star does. Paul George is a star. Like, Paul George is a star. Brandon Ingram is a star. Brandon Ingram is a star.
Paul George is done, bro.
He's a highly paid role player.
Bruh, I mean, at the end of the day, like, Aaron Gordon is a star player. Like, Zach LaVine's a star player. Bradley Beal is a star player. Like, those are star guys. Like, Ben Simmons is a star player. We're talking about people who have literally dragged people to the edge to look at glory. And y'all want to tell me that people who ain't even sniffed it are better than what Jimmy just did over a 3-year stretch. He has worked his way up. What was his last elevation? Literally a missed shot in the 2nd round. His next step, he went to the finals. And we're not saying that that's not progress. He's progressing into his prime. This is the prime of his life. He will probably have 3 more years of this. And that's it. And we can say that he's a superstar.
Y'all gonna forget about this motherfucker in 2 weeks.
Ken just got something against Butler.
You know what? I don't have anything against Butler. I have something against all y'all motherfuckers.
Can I say something?
All y'all motherfuckers is who I have something against. He's sitting there trying to say this motherfucker's a superstar.
Hey, Ken, hold on real quick, man.
I ain't gonna say he ain't done shit.
Yeah, you was about to go ahead and say, talk how you want to talk, Ken. Nah, don't stop now. Go ahead. I see the vein coming out. Go ahead and say what you want to say. No politics, no BS. Say what you want to say.
Jimmy ain't done anywhere near the shit that he's done up until now. He got carried to the fucking finals.
He ain't get
by
carried.
everybody except Jimmy Butler. Yes, he did.
You see what what you did, bro.
Who put Boston away? It was Bam Adebayo. He won that game for them.
Really, it was Goran
Jimmy was
Dragic.
chilling.
Goran Dragic was the guy that was killing for Miami for the last 2.5 rounds, man. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Yeah, facts.
I mean, he was. But look, Jimmy's a hard guy to evaluate because to me, like Jimmy, he has superstar intangibles, but he has like role player to like star game. If that makes sense. Like to me, like I don't like his game. His game. I like Jimmy Butler. Like look, Jimmy Butler has grown on me because for a long period of time I was with the rest of the fellas, man. Jimmy Butler's okay. He's good. He's a poor man's PG. That phrase is terrible now. Obviously, I know that. Jimmy Butler has raised his game with this finals performance. Absolutely. I don't think anybody can deny that. What he did in this finals has to be awarded and merited. That being said, we having the wrong argument, folks. Superstar, star, who's a star, who's a superstar, all that is nonsense to me. I don't look at superstar, I don't look at star. I look at who's transcendent and who's not.
Right.
Because that word superstar and star gets thrown around way too much. You know what I'm saying? Like in the 90s, Mitch Richmond was a star, borderline superstar. Was he transcendent? Was he Michael? No. Was he Charles Barkley? No. Was he Karl Malone? No. But in this era, like we throw superstar around way too flippantly. Like you got people telling me that Nikola Vucevic is a star. Like what? No, he's a good player. It's a good player. Like, that's it. It's okay to be a good player. It's good to be a solid borderline all-star player. Remember when the Sixers and Elton Brand, I don't know what the hell he was smoking, paid what's my man? Tobias Harris superstar money, and then people are mad that they're not getting superstar production? Like, because we throw that term around loosely. He's not a star. He's not a superstar. Tobias Harris is a good to very good player. That's it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
He's a solid player, like 18 points a game. Like, underdog, he had his best season. But I think that's a good point, man, because it's like, I think that's what we have to begin to define shit as. Where it's like, can this person, are they Pantheon? And if they aren't Pantheon, then maybe there is another way to qualify them as guys you want to build around. But then there's just Pantheon guys. There are building block guys.
I call them immortals. I call them immortals. Like, is James Harden an immortal? Is James Harden a god? Is he an immortal? No, he has godlike performances.
Yeah.
Right.
But that record in playoffs.
But when it matters most, James Harden comes up small. Constantly.
I've always been hard on James Harden. I've been
and putting it that way does make a lot more sense. Like you said though, building around him, Jimmy Butler elevated the level. I don't think even on the court we could see his contribution to that team. But that team is a lot better with him on it than without him.
Absolutely.
And I agree with you. I agree with what you said about that point. Putting it that way, it makes more sense.
Jimmy left the Sixers and we lost in the first round.
That's it.
So it's just like, it's simple, bro. Like, I'm not trying to really, at this point, the most I will budge on is people need to give that man way more respect, because we give a lot of chokers. We give a lot of guys who say, oh, well, the coach didn't want me to guard Jimmy. A lot of room, whole lot. And then when it's guys who produce, guys who win, guys who put it on the line, I see Jimmy in the same vein of mentality as a guy like a CP. He doesn't, obviously he's never been as good as CP was at his peak, but that he has that mentality. And to me, he has the superstar intangibles with the ability to affect wins. He's taking you to the playoffs at least, and he might be able to mess around and get you deep in the playoffs. And what we've seen now with the finals with just bare minimum talent. Give Jimmy some more talent the same way that LeBron got a transcendent guy around him. Let's see what they do. Like, I don't know. We just gotta begin to evaluate these players as how guys in the league talk about them more, man. Like these guys in the league talk about Jimmy, like, yo, he's an absolute dog. Like, yo, Jimmy's a superstar. Like Jimmy does all the little things that you all don't see. Jimmy's in the huddles, keeping guys in line. Like Jimmy's the coach on the floor. Like those are superstar intangibles to me. And I think that even if you want to say Giannis and those guys are stars and superstars, that's fine. But we just got to give Jimmy more respect.
You know what? I think. Go ahead, Manny.
No, I was gonna say if Paul George had every bit of intangible that Jimmy Butler has in his veins, Paul George would be a superstar, would be a transcendent player, but he doesn't have it. And that's what's keeping Paul George out of that discussion, that's what makes Paul George a laughingstock. Paul George carries himself like he's a superstar, but he constantly comes up like a role player or a star, or at best a borderline player.
Yeah, I think.
No, I was going to close with this. Jimmy is the guy that plays with the superstar, to me. Jimmy's the guy. He's the Robin to the superstar.
He's Nightwing, bro. He ain't just Robin.
Oh my God.
He's Nightwing.
Look. Here's what I say, and I like what Q said, and that's why I was like, Nick, let's not start with this bullshit, because it's taken away from what Jimmy did. Because we're arguing about what Jimmy ain't. At least I'm telling y'all what Jimmy ain't.
You telling me what he ain't.
I'm telling y'all what Jimmy ain't.
We trying to celebrate Jimmy over here. You over here talking shit.
But Jimmy deserves. Huh?
I said, Ken, you on one tonight? I see.
I mean, I'm just saying, Jimmy deserves respect for giving us 6 games, because we thought it was going to go 4, then we thought it was going to go 5. Yeah. And we at least got a chance to enjoy the finals, which most people came into the finals not wanting to even watch because they thought it was going to be boring.
Let's be fair. The fact that we got, as a Laker fan, I'm going to talk my shit for a little bit because I missed the first part of the show.
I was going to give you your time, Manny. Shit.
I know, but let me add this point, though. Let's be fair. If the Lakers don't BS around for 2 games, this really would have been a sweep. Like, let's be fair. Like, let's be fair.
I said it, Manny.
Let's be fair.
Y'all literally are shitting on Jimmy Butler.
I just gave Jimmy Butler his flowers. I just gave Jimmy Butler his flowers.
Pissed on him. I'm just saying that.
I'm not pissing on him. I'm just saying. It's more me talking about my team, that we didn't take care of business. We came out bullshitting in game 3, and we got caught. You know what happened? The Lakers thought that Miami was going to lay down in game 3, and they had another thing coming for them. If the Lakers, and even with all that, the Lakers probably still should have won game 3. And then we won't even talk about the debacle of game 5. Danny Green is still not welcome in LA, even with the ring. Like
Danny Green get a ring?
I just can't believe we're talking about a guy who took like people who are trying to claim his GOAT to 6 games, and we acting like this dude did not just do this. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I really believe that we are downplaying a guy who gave us one of the best finals games we've seen in the last like 5 years. Like that back and forth between LeBron and Jimmy. Who has ever, bro? Steph can't do that. We've seen him pass the ball in those moments. He can't do that. Jimmy went bucket for bucket with the second best or the GOAT in many people's eyes for 2 games by himself, really, with not a lot of help. Goran, the plantar fascia tear. You had Bam, who looked atrocious because you obviously know that he's not right. And then Harrell's scared shitless, and Duncan Robinson was the only one who showed some fight. Jimmy, for 2 games, took that game from LA. The same way AI took that game 1 from Kobe and Shaq. And as Sixers fans, as Philly fans, as sports fans, we put AI in the hall just for that. Yo, you got us 1 against guys who went almost undefeated in the playoffs. The Lakers went 4-1 in every series. The only ones who almost went to 7 was the Lakers with the Heat. And that has to show for something, at least on just marks on a guy's career, that when Jimmy retires, we are going to look at this and be like, yo, AD, if he gets 2 more, how does this make Jimmy look? This is not this is not a fully written story yet. We just got to put more respect on bro name, man. This has been crazy.
And Ken, all I'm saying is we talking about Jimmy Butler. We ain't talking about Jimmy Crackcorn. All right? You know what I'm saying? We're talking about Jimmy Butler. Give that man his respect.
And I want to, but you know what, Q? While you were talking, when I'm watching the finals and I'm watching Jimmy play, I'm like, Jimmy is not this fucking good. That's what I kept saying to myself. when he was playing out of his fucking mind. He is not this good. And they were pissing around and making him appear to be better than what he was. He did fucking positive affirmations throughout the whole finals. He managed to give Duncan Robinson some Jesus juice, and this motherfucker couldn't miss a goddamn 3. Mm-hmm. They fucked around. Game 5, they should have won, but the Lakers didn't care about them that much that they decided to come out with some arrogance, say, we gonna wear the Mamba jerseys, and motivated them motherfuckers. And that's how they ended up losing that game. And they came out, and you know what? They set the record straight, and they beat the shit out of them. That's what it was. That's what they should have did for 4 games straight, and they didn't. They didn't respect it.
Another person who some people say I don't respect as much, but I'm gonna respect now. I'm gonna give him his flowers. I ain't gonna do no backhanded shit like Ken and Manny. LeBron James. LeBron James won his 4th NBA title, his 3rd MVP, Finals MVP.
No, fourth.
Finals. I didn't know. I forgot. I didn't know if Kyrie won that one or he did.
I see what you did there.
All Brian titles have been with final MVPs.
But I'm gonna give the floor to the biggest Laker fan here, Manny. All right, go ahead, talk about your boys. I'm gonna tune out real quick.
Man, well, championship number 17 has been delivered. It's a good day. It's a good week. I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all that this was a shock. I mean, look, it was expected. Once you get LeBron James, once you got AD, I mean, you're supposed to win a championship. And I said it at the beginning of the year. This was, especially with Golden State being down, this was a must-win championship for the Lakers, and they took care of business. I don't want to get into asterisks and does this championship count more or less? Look, the Lakers played in the same situation that every other team had to play for, or at least 22 other teams that were invited to the bubble. Right. They did what they were supposed to do. You know what I mean? So I think it's disrespectful to start talking about asterisks and, well, if the Lakers had played this, or, because the narratives are already out there. Well, if the Lakers had played the Clippers, well, they didn't. The Clippers nutted on themselves. So they took care of themselves. I don't want to hear that. At the end of the day, we took care of business with the situation and the platform that we were given. I'm not even going to get into the whole LeBron GOAT discussion. I said this on a podcast earlier. I'm just over it, man. Once Kobe died, I was just over that whole GOAT discussion. Like, for real, honestly, we just wasting our time. Appreciate players' greatness for what it is. I'm not going to get into the GOAT discussion. If somebody wants to put LeBron at number 1, sure, go ahead. Have fun. You know what I mean? If you want to go with Jordan, great, have fun. Kareem, Magic, whoever, have fun. I'm not getting into these GOAT discussions because honestly, who's wrong? Who's wrong and who's right? If all of us say Jordan, half of the population will say we're right, half of the other population will think we're crazy. If we say LeBron, it's the same thing. So realistically, we're really not gaining anything by having these discussions, man. But it was a great championship. The city of LA, I don't know if y'all seen the videos and whatnot, is going crazy for this championship. 10 years is a long time in Lakerland. I know some people want to discredit that, 10 years ain't been bad. Look, I was watching Laker games with Robert Sacre, Wesley Johnson, and Kendall Marshall, in my starting lineup. The fact that my man Kobe went out his last years playing with these bums that you couldn't pick out of a lineup, that's rough for LA. That's rough for LA. It's like I tell everybody, man, when you're used to eating filet mignon, it's kind of hard to go back to hamburger helper. So, we back where we belong at the top of the mountain, and hopefully next year, Pelinka and Genie give LeBron and AD the supporting cast to defend it.
Hey, Manny, you're right. Kobe did get out playing with balls, but LeBron won a championship with some balls. Because I'm telling you, boy, some of those guys.
Here we go. Here we go with the Lakers. Others weren't as good.
No.
Another
I'm saying this adds to LeBron's legacy in my book because those guys were horrible. I ain't gonna say they weren't as good.
What guys were horrible?
Kuzma was not that good.
Kyle Kuzma was horrible.
Kentavious Caldwell-Pope just started coming on late.
KCP hit a couple shots. He was horrible too.
Caruso wasn't that amazing.
Our role players, Caruso wasn't that amazing. That's where I disagree with you, sir. Caruso's a winner, man. Caruso is a winner.
He can't
Caruso
make a shot to save his life.
Bro.
Hey, we don't need him to make a shot.
Because you got who? Because you got who?
Exactly. But that's like saying we need that's like saying the Lakers needed Michael Cooper to make a shot. Like, no, they didn't. They had Magic.
Yeah, Kobe needed Robert Ory.
You know what I mean? Like Alex Caruso brings a skill set.
I'm just saying, Manny, don't try to hype up this Charlie Brown looking
Ron
motherfucker
Artest.
as the next one.
Kobe 6 for 24.
If Alex Caruso played on your favorite team, y'all would love Alex Caruso too. He's the type of player that you hate if he's in the opposing team, or you think he's overrated, or you love his energy if he plays on your squad.
I don't think so, Manny. I think that he was in the right situation. I don't think he was anything special to hate or to love.
That's any wrong. Look, I'm not sitting here telling you Alex Caruso is the second coming of Steve Nash. I'm not telling y'all that. Alex Caruso is an other. Alex Caruso is a role player.
He's not the second coming of Evan Fournier. He's not even the second coming of Satoransky. Like,
we don't need him to be any of that. Hey, Evan Fournier ain't got a championship.
He don't got LeBron.
Evan Fournier didn't start Game 6 of the finals.
He ain't got LeBron.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, Haley Race did a super chat. We appreciate you as always, Haley. She said the Lakers have 12 championships, not 17.
She's a Boston fan.
If she's a Boston fan, I don't want to hear it. Matter of fact, if your franchise don't have more than 5 championships, I don't want to hear no debates.
That's not,
if your franchise doesn't have at least 3 championships in the 21st century, I don't want to hear anybody else talk.
All I'm gonna say is this: is that LeBron James, congratulations for your 4th championship. I think he will eventually get to 6. I'm gonna put that out there. I think 6 is on the way. And Manny, I was only saying that as really an addition to what this championship means, because y'all can package up some of those players to get a guy that you need. I was just playing around with Trade Machine today. Y'all can package Kuzma and Markieff Morris to go get Terrence Ross from the Magic. That's a nice little pickup. You can play Jeff Green on a veteran minimum to come and play to take some of the load off of LeBron. I don't think that LeBron had the best supporting cast. I really believe that he made those guys so much better than what they were. AD elevated and they rode him when they needed to. He was a defensive anchor. And, man, this just puts LeBron in a class of his own. I'm not going to get into GOAT discussions.
Right. You know what it was? Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you this was the 2000 Lakers, 67-15 with a deep starting lineup and a deep bench. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that. This is one of the great Laker teams of all time. No. Right. I don't even think delusional Laker fans will tell you that. Right. That being said, I think this was a team. Keyword team. Like, I've said it all year. The Clippers, hands down, have more talent than the Lakers. Like, I don't even think it's a debate. But what the Clippers don't have is they have that intangible. They don't have that camaraderie, that team. Like this year, all year, this team has played together. This team has played. Every guy has known their role. Now, they haven't played it to their best of their abilities, obviously. Kuzma, I'm talking to you. But, every player knew their role, played their role well. And sometimes outside of talent, that's what you need.
Danny Green had one of the most horrible finals in the world. I've never
playoffs.
Seen that in my life.
Listen, listen, he's stealing $15 million. I know that. You're not.
What I'm saying is LeBron is that team. There's all that other stuff means very little. You put LeBron out there, that's the whole thing. Because even AD was disappointing if you really look at it in the grand scheme of things.
Take LeBron off of this team. Take LeBron off this team. They don't get past Denver.
Take LeBron off this team. They wouldn't get past Charlotte right now. I said, this team is horrible.
That's cap. That's cap.
Yeah, take that hat off.
Hey,
that's cap. Like I said, take that hat off, bro.
That's cap.
This speaks to LeBron's greatness at that point because, like I said, you name me 5 players on that team that's worth it.
You can't
stop at Rondo.
Now y'all being disrespectful.
Manny, Rondo
you being too
was your
respectful.
third best player. Manny, Rondo was y'all's third best player. and you know
Right.
that most of those guys are going to be gone in about a year. They have to get better role players around them.
Right.
That's true. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with y'all. Y'all acting
Right.
like we basically won with, D-League players. That now y'all going a little
You did.
too far
You
there.
did.
Allen Iverson had a
yeah.
better supporting cast, and he gets dragged for having an awful
Come
cast.
on,
That was
Q.
a-
Come on, Q.
Oh,
Q, you
he
know
did.
better.
Q.
Q, I'm gonna be harder on you
Allen
because you know better.
Iverson had the
You know
defensive
better.
player of the year
Tyrone
and the
Hill?
sixth man of
Tyrone
the
Hill's
year.
better Really?
Aaron
Yes, sir.
McKee is
Really?
Aaron McKee is better than most of the players on that team.
Yes.
Dikembe
Stop.
Mutombo is better than most players
Stop.
on that team. Bro, defensive
Stop.
player of the year, sixth man of the year,
Stop.
coach of the year, MVP on the Sixers 0-1 team. LeBron took
Yeah, tell me-
Caruso. Caruso's an
tell
offense
me-
max manager.
No, do this for me. Do this for me. Let's take. let's
Stop, man.
no,
Stop, man.
seriously,
Stop,
man.
y'all.
Man,
There's a lot of cap on
let's
this
take-
right now.
man.
Let's take AD, LeBron, and Rondo out of the picture. Tell me somebody else who had a nice finals. Like they just did something.
But what y'all are saying, I can say that about a lot of championship teams.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No.
No, you
That's
can't.
like me saying take Rasheed, Ben Wallace, and Chauncey Billups out of the 04 Pistons. What are they?
Rip Hamilton.
Okay,
Tayshaun
Rip Hamilton.
Prince.
Oh, Rip Hamilton. What Rip Hamilton and Tayshaun Prince? Yeah, that's gonna win you a lot of games in the East. Like, come on, like stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
no,
You
no,
take
no,
Kawhi,
they
take Kawhi and Kyle Lowry off the last year's Toronto team. What are they?
Van Vliet is still a guy.
You got
Van
Pascal
Vliet.
Siakam,
Ibaka.
Van Vliet.
That's not saying much.
Yeah, they showed up. That's what
He
I'm
was the most
saying.
improved player at that time.
That's
Those
all we're
guys-
saying. We're not saying that these guys are stars.
He improved that much.
Yeah, those guys.
He was
those
still
guys
trying to
trash.
improve.
Those guys.
Nah, I mean, look.
I'm gonna send you this Danny Green highlight tape that I saw made on World.
Dog, you don't have to tell me about Danny Green. Danny Green is the shit. What school did Danny Green go to, by the way? What school did Danny Green go to?
Oh
He
my
was supposed to go to
He
Duke.
went to Carolina. He went to Carolina. That's why.
Danny Green was the Millsaps of the Lakers in that final.
Bro, like look at the Warriors lineups. You got Iguodala. You got guys like Ian
That's
Clark
not
who
fair.
are
That's the
stop
fucking
it.
Warriors. That's the Warriors.
Bro, I'm going down the timeline. We can talk about the Warriors. You got Iguodala. You got guys like Ian Clark. You got guys
Right.
outside of Draymond Green.
That 2011
Steph,
Mavericks team. That 2011.
Jason
that 2011
Kidd.
Mavericks.
Tyson
Jason
Chandler.
Jason Kidd was 40.
Bro, he was still contributing, is what I'm saying.
They made a
JJ
difference.
Barea. JJ Barea. These were good players.
They had moments. Those guys, the Lakers had. Nobody had a moment.
So we gonna act like KCP didn't hit some big shots?
Other
We
than
gonna act like
KCP
KCP
that
didn't hit
one
some big
game.
shots?
Are you
Who
saying
else?
that would you rather have KCP or 2011 Terry, what's his name?
Jason
yeah.
Terry? No,
Jason
absolutely
Terry.
not.
Exactly.
Absolutely
And that's
not.
what I'm saying. Come on now.
That's the.
I'd rather have some KFC than KCP. All right, let's leave it at that. My question to y'all is, will the Lakers make another title run next year?
Yes.
Heck
Yes.
no. Come on, man.
As long as you have LeBron James and AD, you have a seat at the table as far as the championship contention. Now, does this
means
team
a
need
lot
to make?
coming from this man. I want y'all to understand who we talking to here. This
I'm a
is
LeBron James
Manny.
hater, but it's a business deal with me. As long
This
as he
means a
wears
lot
that
coming
purple and
from this
gold,
man.
as long as this man wears the purple and gold, I will affectionately root for him. As soon as he leaves the franchise, it's back to fuck LeBron. I've said it since day one. That being said, right? That being said,
So disrespectful.
that being said,
Why you don't like LeBron so much, Manny?
oh my God, man, let me get don't we don't have enough time, bro. I
No,
joined
we
the
really
shit. I
don't.
joined the show late. I don't
This
have
is
like
time.
why I
LeBron.
love that he went to the
But-
Lakers and won a championship. It's like
You
I
have
like
to. You
his
have to love
karma.
him. Yeah, you
he
have
had to eat it all.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know I
it's-
did. It's yeah, I know. I know.
It's 2020
But anyway,
for you, man. It's 2020.
that's 2020.
Yo,
Nah,
Y'all
but what I'm
niggas
saying
will-
is, do the Lakers need to make additions? Absolutely. I don't think they should get crazy trying to get 4 superstars in there, try to build an all-star team, because I don't feel like that's the route either. Like, you've
No.
proven that you can win with a competent, we'll debate that how we will, a competent set of role players. Like, I don't feel like they need to do that much. I do think that they need to add some pieces here. Me personally, I want Jerry and Grant. Like, I feel like he would be the perfect addition to this roster.
LeBron was already in his ear.
He'd be the third
Facts.
best player. He'd be the third best player. Y'all got JaVale
Sure
McGee,
would.
Caruso, Markieff Morris, Danny Green, and KCP and people
I'm
want to tell me that
higher
y'all can't upgrade.
I'm higher on Kuzma than you guys are, but I
Kuzma's
will agree.
done.
Kuzma needs to leave LA, man.
Yeah, he
Kuzma's
does.
done. He needs more shots. He's not a guy
We
that
should have kept Bi. We should have
Thank
kept
you.
Brandon Ingram.
Thank you.
BI is the same issue. He needs more shots. Y'all
Yeah,
need
but
guys that
facts.
can
You're
step in
right.
and fill that shot.
But,
Y'all need
but
guys
if
that can step in.
but if we had to choose between Bi and Kuz, I would have rather have kept Bi. And I said that the day we
Y'all
made
can't
the
get
trade.
AD. Y'all can't get AD without putting BI in.
We should have strong armed New Orleans. You know what we should have did? AD's not going anywhere else. You trade him. Go ahead. Trade him to the Knicks. Or go ahead, trade him to Boston. He's leaving after the year and he's coming with us anyway. You should
You
have
don't
strong
know
armed.
that.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
If he would have went to Boston, they would have won. They would have went to the finals.
And he would have pulled the Kawhi and left.
Bro,
You and I both know this.
And it's really
Leverage-
just about roster construction, man. It's just the
Leverage
roster
is
construction.
everything, man.
It's the
Leverage is
roster
everything.
construction that I see is the only thing that they need to improve. They do need to improve that supporting cast. You cannot go in to another season when you're getting guys like Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson back, and they have a second pick and they can do a whole bunch of whoop-de-wop and get another third star. You have to go and try to swing for the fences on guys like Zach LaVine's. You have to wait for 2021. If you can't get a guy, you wait for Bradley Beal. You do need that third guy because LeBron will be 36, 37, going on 38 soon. And you do need that second guy who can run with AD, and they can use LeBron more so as that point guard pure. That's what they need. So that means you have to have guys who can knock down shots. And that's not going to be coming from guys like, in my opinion, Kuzma. It's not going to be coming from a high clip on guys like Caruso. You have to go find those snipers. You have to go find those Jeremy Grants like you're talking about. But he's 100% from three.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But honestly, right now, obviously, a lot of things can change from now to January, February, whenever the hell this next season starts. But right now, the only team in the West that I'm scared of, honestly, is Golden State. No other team.
Not the Clippers.
Nah, man. They got to
we
take
done
care of
with the
their own.
Clippers.
They got to take care of their own house. They got to take care of their own house. You got.
Too.
Okay, I'll throw Denver in there.
Guys like Gallinari, guys like Jeremy Grant. You got guys like Joe Harris. You got guys like Drew Holiday that are available. You're gonna see guys try to make a move, and that's what the Lakers need. They need to get in on one of these guys, like a guy like a JJ Redick coming over on like a trade or whatever.
Oh man.
Are you saying they should go out and get a Bradley Beal because that's hitting a home run, or should they just go for like a Jerry Grant, a Joe Harris, good players that fill a role, that fill a need? Obviously, shooting. The Lakers need shooting. Joe Harris fills that need. Should they go that route?
Yeah, I think you go with role players right now. If you can swing for a Beal, you don't want to leverage your future on it. But to me, Beal, guys like Beals, guys like a Zach LaVine, those are guys that are primed for a trade, primed to make a new destination. And I think that's precisely
go there, go to LA.
That's precisely what you need.
Danny Green, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee aside. Why can't they just run it back?
It's not gonna be enough for the West.
Why not? It was.
I feel like they could run it back. They could run it back.
No,
of course, Manny, you feel like they can run it back.
No,
you still out the damn.
If you told me right now, the only move the Lakers make this offseason is a Jerry and Grant. Okay, we maybe give up a Kuzma, we trade a. All right, let's just fantasy basketball for a second. If you tell me right now, Jerry and Grant is the only addition that this team makes, I feel like with Jerry and Grant, this team can run it back.
Because you got to worry about you got Utah coming back, you got Denver coming back.
Utah.
I think Utah can make a run.
Hey man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Manny.
Mike Conley, 46.
Y'all laughing at Utah like Utah wasn't scary.
Man, get out of here, man. All respect to Quinn Snyder. All respect to Quinn Snyder. We know what school he went to.
I think Utah and Denver will be teams you don't want to sniff at.
I'm gonna be honest.
Please don't bring up the Rockets. Please don't bring up.
No, I'm not. Oh, you know how I feel about the Rockets. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shelton. Go ahead.
The Lakers, like I said, I give LeBron all the credit in the world for winning this championship, but this championship was based off the scenarios falling perfectly in their favor. They didn't go out there and just dominate this thing. They had favorable matchups in every round. Plus, and the timing of everything, the way everything went, it just felt.
Whoa, and that's narratives. That's
Favorable
narratives now,
matchup.
Shell.
No.
I'm not gonna let you get away with that comment.
What I'm saying is next year, if those bounces don't go that way, like they faced the Portland, coming off that long run that they went on, it's tough to come out and get up again to play. And I'm not making excuses. They still had to win the game. So,
but the thing is, though, is that Shelton's right because, bro, they got 2 months. Everyone got 2 months off. Everyone got refreshed. Everyone was able to get in the gym and work on new stuff. They actually got an intermission in the season to go get ready for the run. This is not to detract from LeBron. This is just to say that this is how the cookie crumbled this year. Are we saying that if they have to go into that 2-month runway to get to warming up for the playoffs and right before the All-Star break and after the All-Star break when you really put your work hat on, what are you really saying for the Lakers if you're running back with Caruso, KCP? You're not really trying to improve at that point. You're just trying to hope that LeBron can replicate this gargantuan effort that it took, man. This was a mental like battlefield, just as much it was a physical battlefield. And LeBron just happened to win. So I think you got to take into account that 2-month window, bro, that joint reset a lot of teams.
Absolutely. It helped a lot of teams. I don't even know how historically we're going to evaluate this season because from the standpoint of did players overperform in the bubble because they had those 2 months? You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to evaluate. Right. That's a whole separate podcast for another day. That being said, I'm not sitting here telling y'all, the Lakers should just make no additions, run it back with everybody. Of course, every team has to try to improve their roster from a year-to-year perspective. Absolutely. You'd be an idiot not to. But I don't think they should go crazy. I don't think you should mortgage your future because I think the Lakers do have to think about their future too. LeBron's getting older. AD's still young, getting into his prime, arguably, if he's not there already. You got to think about what's going to be life after this current group of Lakers with LeBron. If he retires in 2 years, you got to think about what that's going to look like with AD. Obviously, if AD's still there, playing at a high level, healthy, you're going to be able to attract free agents. So I'm not too worried about that. I just don't want them to go out there and start fantasy booking. Oh yeah, let's go out and get D Rose, Bradley Beal, and 2 other 4A players. Like, don't do all that. Don't do all that. You already have the chip.
Yeah, I think people made a great point. Like the future was already mortgaged when they went and got AD. Unlike the Clippers, it worked out, and they got a championship. You know what I mean? So I think at the end of the day, I think they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, if you win a championship,
why you always gotta bring up the Clippers
all fucking year
Come
long?
on, bro.
If you win a championship, it's worth
shit about somebody
absolutely.
that ain't done shit. The lucky leprechaun champ that Kawhi Leonard is.
He ain't lucky.
People spent all year telling you that the title go through LeBron. All year long. He spent all year long. You, Shelton, all y'all motherfuckers kept hyping up the Clippers. So yes, every single goddamn time, I'm gonna remind you.
I was just about to say the Clippers
that's the team with the most pressure next year.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Look,
that's the team with the most pressure next year.
Hold on.
Yeah. My only fear was that the Clippers didn't spend enough time together. They ain't play enough ball. Jesus Christ. That was my fear.
They just weren't right. They just weren't right all year, man. That team, and that's like you can't just throw people together, man.
See, and that's the issue. And thank you, Ken, for bringing that up because I was gonna bring that up a little while ago, but I let Manny have his moment. But the thing is that look, I'm not gonna get into the GOAT conversation either. But of this era, the shit go through LeBron, bro. And I wanted to ask one question to Nick. What did LeBron do this year that he wouldn't have done last year?
He wouldn't have won.
He would have made them playoffs.
He stayed healthy.
You would have stayed healthy. I'm not saying he would have won the championship, but all that bullshit you talked about,
What bullshit? What bullshit?
LeBron's over. LeBron's run is this. LeBron. It's so much so that I had to talk like if I was LeBron, saying that the championship go through me, bro.
A Lakers fan just said the bubble is something we don't even know historically. We're going to have to take in context. He said some niggas in the bubble overperformed
so
that they wouldn't do.
What's my man from Indiana? What's my man TJ Warren?
Did I say LeBron or did I say some niggas?
I'm asking you a direct question.
No, LeBron didn't overperform.
LeBron did
the
what he did this year
with.
That he did the 16 years prior to. The championship go through LeBron. Put respect on his name. Thank you, Mr. Disrespect.
The championship didn't go through LeBron last year, and if anything,
because he was hurt.
If we're talking about the decade, it went through more Golden State than LA. If you want to keep it a buck,
it went through LeBron James.
Yeah,
Go
Golden State.
get KD to go through that motherfucker.
it still went through San Francisco.
And we don't
Golden
respect
State
that KD championship the way we respect some of these other championships.
And Golden State.
Hold on,
Shelton don't respect this championship. Look at him.
Oh, I don't.
What'd you say?
Nobody listens.
I said you're right. Golden
Wow.
State did go through LeBron. I agree with that. LeBron is always going to be a factor. He regardless. And yeah, I think the bubble, this pandemic helped LeBron more than anybody else because he was the one that stayed fresh and he's the one that's going to stay mentally prepared.
LeBron is the hurdle.
Yeah, he the dude.
Look,
I ain't never taking that away from him.
Over the 16 years or 17 years that we've seen LeBron play and perform, what do we know of LeBron? Physically, he's going to outlast you, bro. It doesn't matter who the hell you are. Physically, he's going to outlast you. Mentally, you could beat him. He's not the mentally toughest guy.
I think we gotta amend that. Fivo, he's been showing he's mentally tough for the last couple years now.
Oh no, 100%. No, and I'm not taking no digs at LeBron's mental toughness, but no player's perfect.
Whoa. Wait. So what do you mean? Whoa, I'm hearing that. I don't like that, bro. Like, what you mean? LeBron has since 2011, he showed up every time.
There have been moments in his career where LeBron has not been mentally tough enough.
Since 2011.
Since 2011. Last year, he was not fully invested. I ripped LeBron every single show I could. He was not fully committed. He got to LA. He said one thing: I can't wait to help these young players develop and get better. And then what happened? No wonder the team fell apart. Because
you're reacting. I need you to understand.
I'm speaking facts right now.
Ain't nobody about to go 100% with LeVar Ball seed, bro. I'm sorry. That's just not about to happen, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like, yo,
the Lakers season fell apart last year when Lonzo got hurt.
They were babies. When
Lonzo got hurt and Brandon Ingram got hurt, like a couple weeks later, the Lakers season fell apart. And then, of course, LeBron wasn't invested. But he killed any momentum that team had. People forget the Lakers were like in the top 4 going into Christmas Day. That team was starting to do something. And then what happened? AD signs with Clutch Sports. People can see the writing on the wall. I'm like, oh, this nigga's trying to ship us out already. He was not fully invested. But I'm not even gonna bring that up. That's Laker business. That's town business.
Manny, that entire argument is just as like when Cowboys fans say, well, up until Christmas week, we contend. Of course, because that's when bad teams start to lose. Right. So this is what I'm saying is that was a bad team.
There were times throughout the finals against KD that LeBron knew he had no chance, and you could see it in his face. That's not mentally tough enough.
Whoa, what? Bro, the entire reason KD was even in Golden State was a reaction to LeBron's greatness.
I'm not debating that. But what I'm saying was
so when you define the terrain for everybody, you can't tell me that you are not mentally tough. Because they're trying to get over you as the hurdle.
Because he's a fucking god. LeBron was put on earth to play basketball. Like, he is probably the greatest physical specimen to ever play basketball. That will be his legacy.
So that he wasn't mentally tough.
There have been times where he was not mentally tough, bro. You can see it in his face. Bro. Since 2011, the JR game, where he sat there and made a meme out of himself.
He had 51. He had 51 in Oracle. They were up 6. His team has to help him, bro.
His team has to help him, but that moment, hey, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it.
He made the right play.
If I gotta get 61, let's go. If I gotta get 71 up in this bitch, let's go. He wasn't mentally tough enough.
LeBron has never been that player. Y'all are comparing him to media narrative supported by Stephen A. and Kobe. He's got to be Kobe. He's not Kobe.
Yes.
He's LeBron.
If you want to sit at that table, you gotta be like these dudes.
Kobe's not at LeBron's table. Kobe's not at LeBron's table. That's what we're talking about.
Hold on. Speaking of shit, Q.
That's a fact.
You my nigga, but you bugging right now.
I'm bugging. How am I bugging, bro?
Kobe don't gotta sit at LeBron's table?
Fam, he does not. Kobe, bro, what did Kobe do with Smush Parker and Chris Mims?
What did LeBron do in
He
07?
took the
Talk to me.
Suns to 6
Talk-
games, and if
Bro.
it wasn't for Tim Thomas hitting a freaking shot out of nowhere, they would have probably won that series. Come on, man. And this whole narrative that he didn't do anything when he didn't have Paul Gasol, he should have beat the Suns in 2006. I know, shoulda, woulda, coulda, he didn't. But let's not act like Kobe was a
ever won
complete
without
and utter
Phil? Has
disaster.
Kobe ever won without Phil?
Okay.
No.
No, he
LeBron has won. Well, LeBron has won with Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue, the nigga who already stepped over.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. If LeBron doesn't snitch on Draymond and Draymond doesn't get suspended, what happens?
And if Metta World Peace doesn't bail Kobe Bryant out, who was 6 for 24,
here we go.
then what happens?
Here we go.
See,
Here
we
we
can
go.
play narratives, but we can actually look at
Here we
the
go.
actual game. Who every finals leads their team in assists, rebounds, steals, all of that. That's LeBron. Kobe has never done
How'd
that
that
in the
work out for?
finals.
How'd that work out for him in 2011 when he scored 17 total
How
points?
did it look out
in
for him in
4 quarters?
2016, 2013, 2014, 2020,
You're right.
and he's about to be right back. Y'all will not even be anywhere without this man.
I can't forget the cast at the end of Game 4 in the press conference where allegedly had a hurt wrist. He made sure to show us all his nice little shiny cast at the end of the series. That way it wouldn't be no flames thrown at LeBron for going 3-6 in the finals that year. Well, I hurt my wrist, so
I mean, LeBron's never demanded a trade in the middle of the season like Kobe Bryant, but y'all want to talk about him being at this mentally stronghold. Kobe asked for a trade to Detroit and Chicago. So what are we talking about? Desperation. LeBron leaves when his contract is up and he goes wins finals. Kobe has to have the greatest coach of all time.
He joined Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. He ran to Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. He went to another nigga's town
and became the leader in one season.
That's like Jordan. Yo, I can't beat the Pistons. Yo, Pat, y'all got room for me? Come on, son. Come on, son.
Are y'all serious?
Stop.
Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, Phil Jackson, Kobe had every time Kobe has won a team, it's been stacked. We are not about to do this, and we are not about to say that Kobe has ever had the impact on a team. No, they have not been stacked overwhelmingly.
When he's won, LeBron's teams haven't been stacked.
They haven't been stacked only, but that
Miami Heat team had 3 Hall of Famers on it.
Dog, that 2012 team was the only team in which I can say from top to bottom that joint was constructed well. That 2012-2013. When they had Ray Allen, Rashard Lewis, Mike Miller, that team was incredible. Next year, D-Wade's knees are breaking down. Chris Bosh can't hit open shots. LeBron is the only reason they are in every game. They had a 1-1 lead going back to Miami, and they got blown out every game. Kobe Bryant got swept by the Boston Big Three. And no one wants to talk about that. But then everyone would say, oh, he is just this mentally stronghold. LeBron has been the barrier, bro. He's been
Mamba mentality, man.
He has been, and we talk about Mamba mentality, and by statistics, LeBron is more clutch in the playoffs than Kobe's ever been. But it's just media narratives.
The man that passed the Danny Green, knowing the entire state of California knew Danny Green was gonna miss that fucking shot.
And you know who thought? You know who else also thought who was gonna miss a shot? The entire Lakers fan base when Kobe passed it to Ron Artest. That's what everyone also thought.
If it works, throw bouquets at him. If it doesn't, throw bricks at him.
If it's the right basketball play, then do it. But everyone wants to crucify somebody, right? So Kobe's teammates help him. Robert Horry, we don't want to talk about this. Shaq's teammates help him, but no one wants to talk about this. We only want to reserve what LeBron can't do. LeBron has never in his life took a 2-dribble pull-up to the right hash and knocked it down. That's never been his game. He's always going to the cup to draw. So we are trying to define this man by media narratives, and this has literally been a conversation that has only been informed by the logic of people like Skip Bayless, who talk about clutch shooting and all this stuff, but don't even look at the actual statistics. LeBron is more clutch than Kobe Bryant. LeBron does more for his team in the playoffs, and this is not to shit on this man. May he rest. But I'm just talking about mental accolades, physical accolades. That man, LeBron James, deserves his goddamn respect, bro.
He does.
He's not about to sit here and say he's
not
top 2.
They both do.
He deserves respect.
That's a debate that can go on forever, man.
It's not a debate anymore. Rest, Kobe. We love you, but it's not a debate, bro. We're talking about the second best player of all time. We're talking about who does LeBron need to win. Who do we need? Who does LeBron need to win? He's had Tyronn Lue. He's put David Blatt on the map. He has taken Vogel who was a nobody, couldn't get Indiana past LeBron and took him to a championship. He took Mike Brown to championships.
I give him credit.
He took Verjao to championships. And yes, he got swept. But we're talking about 9 finals, bruh. He defined a decade. That has to be
terrible Eastern Conference.
No, we're not doing terrible. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Because who was in the West when Kobe was getting all them championships for real? Let's stop doing that.
Who was in the West?
Who was in the West? Who was in the West?
Spurs, the Suns, the Mavs.
Come on now. The fucking Suns, bro. Come on, bro. The Suns were never a factor for no championship, bro. And we know this.
The Suns were never a factor. The Suns were never a factor for a championship.
They were never a factor for a championship. Ever since Barkley left, no, they were never a factor.
Oh, come on.
Seattle was not a factor. Utah was not a factor. Houston wasn't a factor. They had T-Mac and
Dallas
Yao on one leg.
Dallas
was a factor. Dallas, the Spurs. I'll give you those two. Was Portland a factor?
And the Suns.
No.
The Suns created the current style of play that we watch today.
And they didn't get past the second round. And they get past the second round.
They got to a conference final. They got to a conference
final. And what do they
do?
And what do they do?
They got beat by a dynasty. What do you want? Like, okay.
And who was on that team? Teams that was stacked that Kobe needed.
Okay.
So let's not say this because LeBron got the same. He has the same accolades. It's the same terrain, and he's done more.
Let's be fair. Be fair. The 2000s Western Conference was a more stacked conference than LeBron has ever played.
Y'all played the Nets. I literally.
Hey, I can't control that the Eastern Conference was trash. I can't control that. I can't control that. I'm just telling you about who we fought to get to championships. They ran up against Portland. They ran up against the Spurs twice. The Kings, the 0-2 Kings. The 0-2 Kings, LeBron has never had to compete against the 0-2 Kings like
he had to go
in his own conference.
Detroit.
In his own conference. I don't want to hear about shoulda, woulda. I don't want to hear about it. Tim Carnegie aside, I don't want to hear about it.
Detroit went to 4 straight Eastern Conference Finals. Like that team was sick.
Don't even bring up Detroit, man.
That team was Detroit. And LeBron beat them by himself.
The fact that we gave that fucking franchise a championship in 2004.
He had Eric Snow. On his team.
Y'all didn't give us that. We took it.
They took that, and that's what I'm saying, bro. Let's stop with this. We gotta stop with the East versus West narrative of who's weaker. All this stuff. Both conferences have had incredible talents in both of them, bro. It's just, you know what? When you are the little guy lifting the little 25 pounds versus the guy who's lifting the 250 on each, you look different. So that's what it is, bro. Everyone wants to talk about the talent drop off. That's not a drop off. It's how great LeBron is to make them look like that. D Rose was the youngest MVP. He was incredible. They got that team out of there in 5 games.
And then what happened to that team? That team fell apart. They
didn't fall apart. LeBron dismantled them. They beat them by 20 points.
Didn't LeBron play the Hawks team that was comprised of Paul Millsap and Kyle Korver, that 60-win Hawks team that was just like that would have been like an 8th seed in the West that year.
That team still had all-stars on it, man. That team had talent. Like okay, so are we saying that just because you play against a team that is not up to your level as a team in one round that like negates your entire career? It can't, bro. Like
no,
LeBron
I'm not saying that.
Yeah. So if we understand that, then we got to get that man more respect, bro. He has defined the terrain for a decate.
And that's where I want the conversation to mostly be about. Kim mentioned it earlier, as far as like this should just be a celebration of LeBron. If any moment he should get his flowers on the week that he wins a title, his 4th title, like Manny said, or many others said, he had to go through LeBron to get a title for most of the part of the past decade and to start off this new decade. So I'm going to give him his respect.
For now. You'll be back.
I just said I'm going to give him his respect.
The real Nick will be back.
Y'all know me. I love LeBron off the court. He's the
GOAT. There you go.
Off the court, LeBron, I have not a negative word to say about LeBron off the court.
I will never say nothing about LeBron off the court. On the court, there's a conversation to be had that Manny and Q have hilariously had on this episode. I appreciate y'all for that.
Yeah, I want to read this super chat. Edward Owusu, you know your name. Said the Clips window is closed. Kawhi's leg is still cooked, and we'll still have to load manage. PG is a pumpkin. still need a real point and rim protector. Look, I was listening to the old NBA prediction episode that we did just to see, what we were saying. And I vividly remember in that episode saying exactly what happened with PG, that he was going to disappear when it comes to the playoffs. I don't think many of y'all disagree with me on that. I want to address something what Shelton said before we get out of here about the bubble. I just want to remind everybody that the Lakers been the number one seed in the West all year, pre-bubble, post-bubble, pre-bubble, right? They had just found their momentum. They were rolling. They took a 2 months with hiatus, as everybody did, and they struggled. They were not good when they came back into the playoffs.
It wasn't, because people was questioning Lakers. Remember, people were questioning them.
So pre-bubble was more advantageous to the Lakers than the post-bubble was, based on how they performed. They got it together when it came to the playoffs, but we can't say that the one thing helped them more than the other, because there were question marks.
Yeah. A lot
of people, and they were playing their best
I never bought into that
basketball.
struggle though.
Huh?
I never bought into that Lakers struggle in the bubble narrative.
Oh, we're not saying we're not. Yeah, we're not saying you did. You did, man. We're just saying, like, in general, Lakers was losing some games. The way they were losing a couple of those games, people was like, "Oh man, this ain't the same number one seed looking Lakers that we saw before COVID." So yeah, people in general was just questioning the Lakers. And you remember at one point they was playing with the fact that, like, oh, Portland can actually beat them and eliminate them and like all that shit. So,
yeah, somebody on this show.
Yeah, people on the show said that.
Yeah.
Somebody did, right?
I will not lie.
It's possible.
Portland had my attention. I'm not gonna lie.
And that's what I'm saying, man. Like people was questioning the Lakers going into the playoffs. Like when the bubble hit, they were like, can this Laker team make a run? Like people was questioning that.
So for them to come out on top, man, having to reset and start over to regain that chemistry, I think it's dope. We hear about all the tales, and we'll probably hear more about how difficult it was to be in the bubble. It fucking sent Paul Jordan to depression. Like the nigga had to go seek help. So the shit wasn't easy.
There's gonna be a 30 for 30 in about 5 to 8 years.
It is. And
oh yeah, I can see that.
Paul Jordan, we ain't gonna be able to find him there either.
Come on, bro. Ease up. If the Clippers find the right coach, they're gonna be back competing this upcoming.
Who's the right coach? We'll
tune in next week at Dead End Sports to figure it out.
There isn't one. There isn't one. Oh, hell no.
I actually think Ty Lue will be good. I think Ty Lue can get
You've been shitting on Ty Lue for like the last 3 months.
I never shitted on Ty Lue. I just said that it's LeBron obviously is going to take you there. Ty Lue ain't have to do much. Right, just like Kawhi can take you there too.
Well, who?
Kawhi can take you to the finals.
Take you where?
He can take you to the finals.
Man, get the fuck out of
here. He didn't take
man.
Toronto to the finals?
Get the fuck out of here. No. Nick
Nurse. So he
didn't
take it. Oh my God. Ken, now you capping for real.
I'm just saying.
Captain Cap today though.
Man. Hey, Manny, congratulations, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Congrats, man.
Well deserved.
Are you happy, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, we happy.
Yeah.
Wish Kobe Bean would have been alive to see it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think that them winning, just winning it, period, meant more than them trying to win it in the Black Mama jerseys. I think they missed the mark with that. They really got lost their focus by trying to create a moment that they didn't even really need to create. So, but I still think, they still I know B said it's 5-5-5. That they still kind of got it. They were 5-5-5. I think they lost 5 total games in the playoffs. They were 4-1 in their jersey. That's 5. That's a numerology there that we can pull from it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to stretch it out a little bit. But anyway, man, shout out to everybody that showed up to witness what I hope was an entertaining show and debate between Manny and Q. I just had to sit back and let them have the floor on that one. That shit was funny.
It's all love, man. We can disagree. Yeah. That's all good.
Very, very good points made by Q.
I wish I could have came on earlier to rip my franchise that that plays football in
That's
New
what
York.
I thought you was gonna do. I thought you was gonna come on
I,
earlier.
I had a gym class to teach, man, so I couldn't join real quick. But you know, yeah.
What you teaching? Tabo or something like that?
Nah, man. I hope my boy.
Hey, man, look, we're about to get out of here because we've been here shooting for a minute. But I do need to get your thoughts because we didn't really talk about it. Le'Veon Bell being kicked out of New York. What's up with that?
My thoughts are that the New York Jets are an embarrassment, and they will continue to be embarrassing as long as Christopher Johnson, Woody Johnson, and his fucking family own the franchise. They're an embarrassment. The fact that Adam Gase has more currency in your franchise than Le'Veon Bell. Adam Gase. The fact that they unlocked the fucking door to let this man back in the facility in Hofstra is disgusting to me. But hey, you know, if the Falcons can fire their coach, and who else fired their coach over the last couple of weeks? Bill O'Brien. If Bill O'Brien and Dan Quinn can find jobs, all way more successful than Adam Gase, but Adam Gase somehow still has a job. Hey, but I forgot. But guys, don't fret. He's a brilliant offensive mind. Quote from Christopher Johnson, owner of the Jets.
Hey, man, Justin Herbert's looking better than Sam Darnold, so that's an indictment on Adam Gase right there. So,
Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, in terms of coaching, I mean, well, shit, yeah. So, anyway, make sure you guys check out Manny, man. Any Given Sunday podcast, man, wherever you get your podcast. And where can they follow you at, Manny?
On Twitter at @Manuel Brown, Instagram Manuel Brown, Facebook Manuel Brown, Snapchat ManuelBro15. I'm out there. Look for me.
Cool. So if you guys enjoy what you hear, man, check them out. So that's gonna do it for us. We'll catch you guys next time. We out. Peace.
Sir.
Oh man, y'all hilarious, bro.
I ain't even want to do that shit, man. Q got me going, man.
There was nothing to do. Like the debate has been settled, bro. The debate has been settled. We love Kobe, but we just gotta say facts.
Nah, I had when I first joined the call, I joined during the whole Jimmy Butler superstar thing. Who the fuck said Jimmy Butler's better than Dame Lillard? I want to know who said that.
I say I'll take him. I don't think he's a better player in terms of like